Rumbling? Oh my God, what a country. I hurt, look out, it's only me, it's only the Kimmer. How's it going? The Kimmer Show podcast, number 538. It's a Thursday as we speak, the 16th of March.
No, it's not 538, it's 3:05.
In the afternoon, of course. You caught me. That's why he's the, the mechanical mangler, flounder at the controls, and our watchtower tower official. Yes, podcast number 538. We're late today because Pete was invited by the Dickey Broadcasting Company to be their Employee of the Year for the podcast. They singled him out for being the only person they care about.
That happened.
Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And you actually were doing it later in the show because Pete now lives 7 hours away down in Macon in the mountains. And so you have a party of some kind. You want to talk about it or not? Private party? Somebody's farewell? A friend?
It's a friend. And... well, basically, she's been a detective, homicide.
Oh, it's a girlfriend, a female,
not a girlfriend,
yeah.
but a friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's retiring from APD, and so.
And she did what there? Can we say?
It was sex crimes and homicide.
Like homicide.
Yeah,
wow, cool.
Yeah. And, hell of a career. Hell of a career. Bless you.
So sorry. Pollen's all over me again. It's just killing.
You're allergic to retirement.
I'm allergic. Yeah, don't I wish. Anyway, so we're here because you're now obviously it's going to be downtown or in the Highlands or wherever, Midtown or wherever. And so instead of driving all the way back, doing I got downtown. So that's how we're doing it, and which is fine. And in fact, I had to get used to a whole new schedule. Just those 3 hours or so difference than doing it normal. But we got a million things to talk about today. I mean, a billion things. It's going to be really, really cool. Stuff is breaking all over the place, including, I noticed that, Flounder, I love the promo that you did on 106.3, our radio station, link about the beeswax.
That was it.
I forgot. I was mentioning, where the phrase "mind your own beeswax" came from, and it actually started when one lady with the beeswax in her pock marks in her face from diseases. Some lady said, your beeswax is running, so mind your own beeswax. And it became mind your own business. And I heard a guy do a bit once where he said, can you imagine that's the only possible opportunity for a word you could transpose from business? For example, welcome to Argentina, sir. Are you here for pleasure or beeswax? Welcome aboard United Airlines. Are you flying coach, first class, or beeswax today? And I think, what the hell did that ever come from? How they got that? Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Again, if you to get all our links to stuff we do, go to thekimmershow.net. You can get in fact, we got some wonderful Venmo things. Just came in, Eric with a very, very thing, and our buddies at Farmhouse Printing. Robert just made a donation a minute ago. Tracy, my official Kimmer Sky Babe, made a donation for condiments for the cheeseburgers. Tuning in from Tampa and up in the sky and beyond. And I think I might have mentioned Bink, who says we have the second best podcast in Atlanta. I assume because he says your Holy Crap at Sports would be the best podcast in Atlanta. Now, speaking of that, I assume tomorrow?
I'm going to try. I'm sandwiched that in between all kinds of stuff going on this weekend. So, yeah, I'm going to try and get one tomorrow.
Oh, is it birthday time now? Is that actual official?
My sister and me are going to celebrate it tomorrow. Saturday.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. And by the way, you got a couple of cards today from Denise.
Oh, yeah.
I assume they're birthday cards. I don't know. I didn't open them, obviously.
Thank you.
And again, she sent them to the post office box, and that's also addressed at the thekimmershow.net if you can get it from there. Oh, speaking of things, and again, we got a lot of newsy stuff and fun stuff. We have some fun sound bites and things and all that stuff. But first tenants to some business. I'll do this or he'll get very ornery. Note here, hey Kimmer, it's mine and Kristen's wedding anniversary on St. Patty's Day. Remember I proposed at Hoaxes, you were there. Can you give us a shout out? Scotty, the window guy. And I remember we were doing the comedy show and he asked me to make an announcement that he wanted to propose marriage to, and I said, no, this is all you, man. I don't want to be, if something bad, if she says no, I'll be the guy to, I said, no, you do it on your own. So anyway, happy anniversary, you guys. What's it, like 4 years now? 4 or 5 years, probably. Anyway, so congratulations, and there you go, and that's a scoop. A couple of things. Bing, bam, boom. You would be proud of me. First, before I do that, Bruce got a nice, in fact, from the Kimmer Media, Post Office Box 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. We got a nice note here. And it wasn't even a name on it, just a postcard. And it says, my suggestion for the name of the National Hockey League team that may come for the north suburbs of Atlanta, if they go to the suburbs of Atlanta, Ice Crackers.
No.
We don't like that one. But it's an interesting idea. Now, let's make this point. If they put a national... By the way, are the chances better, or do you have any idea?
The latest is... It's between Atlanta and Houston, which already should have one because there's one in Dallas.
That's a
a
big
natural
market.
rival.
That's a big
that's
market.
stupid not to have. Well, it's the NHL. They're stupid.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah.
They'll keep one in middle nowhere, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
So, or here, or put another team in Toronto.
Why would they have two teams like LA used to
They
and New
can't-
York used to,
yeah.
and everybody used to have two
They
teams?
can't even get the Maple
Chicago
Leafs to win.
I mean, oh my God! I mean, Chicago had two baseball teams. And
Get the Maple Leafs to win and then
Yeah.
come up with a second
Why would
team.
they do that? It's stupid.
It's easy. It's
Well,
easy.
because would use the same state. I mean, they couldn't use the same rink.
Why not?
Well, I guess they could, but that's
It is
chicken shit. I mean, that's just stupid.
It is stupid. All I ask for, if we get another NHL team in here, will the losers who yelled Knights during
Yeah.
the Star Spangled Banner, please keep that shit at home?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's bad.
Because you did it for 9
This
years,
is America,
and
pal.
you embarrassed NHL players who came here to play, and you're yelling for a defunct minor league team.
Yeah.
Who cares if they won a Turner Cup or something? Please don't embarrass us
Yeah, it's
again
just wrong.
by
It's
yelling for a minor. Like you talk about this ice crackers. You didn't hear people at Braves games yell for the crackers.
The Crackers, yeah. Yeah.
Please.
I mean, just be decent, be civil, have fun, do your. Let's say old-fashioned
Be
American.
Major
just-
League
yeah,
fans.
Yeah, it's just family time, have fun
Yeah.
at the game. You know what I mean?
This
Jeez.
is not a minor league
Yeah, it's
city.
not everything has to be a thing. Remember that the T-shirt thing. Not
You had your
everything,
fun
yeah.
for 9 years.
Yeah.
It's if you get a new team, please don't embarrass us by keep doing that bullshit.
Right. Now, the other thing is if you put the hockey team in Alpharetta, Roswell, Cumming, or whatever, even farther north, Cumming or
Alpharetta.
Forsyth, somewhere, Alpharetta probably.
You mean Alpharetta.
Probably Alpharetta. Or no, in that area, somewhere up there. If they do that, there's going to be incredible claims of racism there. Who
cares?
I know. But then you say, well, we should have our anti-Republican leadership, which of course is now gone in Georgia, to demand that the National Hockey League, therefore, start going by the equity rules of the federal government, which means they have to have at least one short, fat, white guy on the team, a couple of chicks, a tranny, just propose it to make them say, okay, you want to go for racial, okay, let's make them all equal for this equity thing. By the way, somebody did an analysis of the latest Department of Defense guidelines for their future. The first, 2 out of the first 6 involved equity and diversity for the military. Anyway, now let's see a couple things. Oh, you'd be proud of me.
Really?
Today at Publix, I went to, again, I'm not used to leaving the house until I go to the podcast from like 5:30 in the morning. This morning, I had a couple hours where I was actually done, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have time to go to the stable or go try to do something. So I went to the store, did some
A
stuff.
Kimmer with time on his hands is not a good thing
Not
for
a
society.
happy thing to see at all, because something was going to suffer for it. So I went to the store, and honestly, there was a woman there. I can't remember when I have seen a more striking, stunning woman, a beautiful woman. I just simple, no makeup. She was blonde, had a perfect figure, nothing, not big anything there, just perfect figure. And a face like a freaking angel. And I was trying to think how to describe it to you guys. And it wasn't, I was going to say, well, like Grace Kelly or who's Christy Brinkley. It was indescribable. She was had the most, Shannon Bream from the Fox. I mean, she had the most beautiful face. She was just like an angel. I thought for a second I wasn't even seeing right. And I did kind of a double take, and then I put my head down immediately, and I did not follow her around or try to go through another aisle so I could get another glimpse. I'll guarantee you there was a line of guys who did, though. She was striking. And I was a gentleman and mind my own business. So we take that off the bingo shirt. An incredible story. Although it was, to embellish. I mean, when I went out to the parking lot and I heard, the little voice behind me, and it was her because she said, I know you stared at me and I was so impressed with you for not following me around that, she took me into a car. We made out for 20 minutes. But but again, just for not doing the normal thing, I feel better about my life. And then I realized, oh yeah, that's right. My life has all these up and downs and stuff. For example. I was going to hit ball what's this, Thursday as we speak? Was it yesterday? Yesterday. I was going to hit some ball. Looked like it was a pretty good day, and I asked Flounder if he wanted to go, and he was thinking about it, but it was cold at the time I called him. Anyway, so I went out to the range. Now, I haven't played golf in 5 years. Yeah. I've played once in 5 or 6 years, whatever it is. I used to play pretty well, but I haven't played in so long, and so the last few weeks, I've hit 2 or 3 buckets of balls, so, once a week or once, something like that. And I found the secret about a week ago. Last week, I found the secret. What is the secret? Well, the secret is for my new body now, because I'm 35 pounds lighter than I was, a year ago.
Whose body did you get?
I got a whole different. I don't like it. It's not mine. I'm not used to it. I can't recognize it. Anyway. But I, and I used to be a 3 handicap and it scratched for a while. But anyway, so I used to know how to play. But with my new body and my lack of muscles anymore, because they're all gone, I've had to come up with a whole new thing, which I did, and I found it, and it was perfect. Now I couldn't miss a shot. Remember Flounder? I was telling Flounder the other. I said, man, I had the best range time of my life. I was so excited because one of my I keep. As you're getting older, unless you actually pay attention to things like a bucket list, they'll be gone before you have a chance to do them. And one of my bucket list things I've actually thought about is shooting my age or breaking my age on the golf course. And so I think last week I said, man, I can do it. I'm hitting it so good. I'm ready to go. I went out yesterday, hit a bucket of balls. I skanked everyone. I honestly, I shanked them. I sculled them. I topped them. I hit drives that didn't go 3 feet off the ground. And then I hit a couple of perfect ones. And then boom, bang, shank, clank, boom, clank. I finally left with like a third of the bucket there. I was so embarrassed.
Kill somebody?
I know I couldn't have. I was going sideways. It was horrible. And I thought, oh my God. So this is the golf gods telling me, oh yeah, you think so? Really? Yeah. I can't just all of a sudden start playing great golf. What am I kidding myself? What an idiot that I was so excited. It's stupid. Anyway, so I really got my comeuppance, I can tell you that.
One bad round. All the times you've gone to hit balls, you've hit good. And this was the only time you hit bad.
I know. But it's probably the way it should be. Who am I to say? If you want something, you have to work at it. And I don't know. I can't. But so whatever.
Yeah, but the thing with you is you played golf for 20, 30 years, so it's just a matter of
60 years.
60, and now that you have somewhat of a new body and the way you're figuring out your swing, it's not going to happen overnight. So you're going to have a couple bad sessions.
It may happen. Anyway, sorry, just to pass it along. I'm more humility now than I'm used to. A shout out. Remember we were talking about my car emissions. I didn't know last time I did car emissions last year to get my tag renewed. I didn't know that I had to do an emissions test and never sent it in. This year I did, and remember it was only like 10 days ago. Remember that I sent my thing in. I already got it.
Yeah.
It's
pretty quick.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you put it on your car?
Yeah.
I immediately do it because you forget that stuff.
Yeah.
You set it down
and in fact, but I'm giving a shout out to the motor vehicle registration or whoever. I don't know. Sure what. Huh?
Fulton
County.
That quick?
Wow. I couldn't believe it. Alpharetta, Fulton County, and it's like a week.
I still lie about it. I say I'm in Gwinnett. I'm now 2 counties away from Gwinnett.
I still they got license readers, that. Anyway, I was very impressed. And so I wanted to say thank you. And
yeah, it's crazy. My parents' best friend came into town like this was a year or two ago, and they didn't have their tags renewed. And coming into town, a camera flagged it.
A tag reader?
Yeah, but wow. And then when they were leaving, they got pulled over and the car was towed. It was
that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I when my
but the thing is they thought the dealership, because a lot of dealerships deal with that now. When you buy a new car, they'll handle the tag for you,
right?
And that's what so it was a miscommunication, but the state doesn't care. That
happened to me when my final wife. I was driving her car. And she hadn't gotten the tags renewed. She was still in New Orleans, I think, and I was getting her cars fixed or sold or whatever. So I was driving it, heading the thing. Cop Atlanta here in Buckhead,
yes sir,
pulled me over and towed the car, and it was pouring down rain. And I walked home with my gun in my, and I'm surprised he didn't haul me off. But anyway, yeah, they towed the car. They just take it. Let's see.
Something I forgot.
Yeah.
I share a birthday not only with the late Jerry Lewis and Eric Estrada, but Southside Steve.
Oh, then it's actually today. It is today.
today.
Pete's birthday is actually today
That's why I have
because
a chunk
Eric
of shake.
Estrada is on my birthday list. And
Yeah.
so is Southside Steve, as we were going to mention that.
Oh,
It's
they're
on my-
taking Jerry Lewis off now.
on
have
my
they?
well, he's dead. Isn't he dead?
Yeah, he's like
Yes,
our most famous
we don't
person.
do the dead ones. I got a couple of dead ones in there somewhere.
Southside,
Anyway, happy
yeah.
birthday. So and now
And who was it? Shelley? Didn't Shelley also? We have the same day as Shelley Winter.
I don't know.
I think I did. Yeah, I think there's three of us all had the same day.
Because he's got some kind of birthday celebration this weekend. So
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
I
it.
think we all had the same.
Well,
day.
I'll be damned. Excellent. Well, happy birthday, man! I'm there, and I've seen. I knew it was somewhere in this area because I'm always humiliated and embarrassed a couple of weeks
You have
later when I
Facebook.
find out. What?
No, Facebook usually tells you.
I
don't they?
googled you. I couldn't find your birthday. I
Facebook
googled
usually
you.
tells people's birthday.
I don't have
That's
it.
weird.
In fact,
Googled
today.
me?
Today it didn't show up on my Facebook page.
What did it say when you Googled me?
I don't. It didn't. It just had. Didn't have your. It just had you were radio. I didn't have anything.
Back when I had my show, I was on the front page. You know, when you Google, there's
Yeah.
the front. I was on the first page along with. There's two musicians named Pete. One's called Snake. One, Pete Davis. There's two musicians named Pete Davis and an actor. And now I think I'm on page number 9 or something.
Well, we're gonna now. Do I put Pete or your actual first name?
No, Pete.
Okay, I'll put Pete
Nobody
Davis.
knows the other one.
And let's see.
Yeah, I used to be on page 1. Not anymore.
No, I'm
Not
sorry.
anymore.
Pete Davis. PeteDavis.org.
You know, it's funny. I'm writing down the date here, and I had to stop and think for a second. What's today's date?
No, and there's one here. We don't know. The dude from Falls Church, Virginia.
I used to live in Falls Church, Virginia.
Yeah, well, you don't anymore. Anyway, that's so. Well, happy birthday, happy birthday. We're very happy about that. Let's see. Oh, I also I was thinking about like Flounder gave me some advice the other day. I was talking about all the stuff I've got in my house and things to do. And I was starting to go through it, and I've got boxes and boxes of stuff from my days in radio. I've got all my cover sheets from the shows we did, trinkets people have given me over the years, all in boxes of stuff. And I've started to give, and it has no, if I throw it away, I'm throwing me away. It's done. It's
You are
over.
not your material goods.
No,
Plus,
I
I think-
know, but
I-
it's still it shows me that it has no value. It's junk.
Well, I mean, that's a big room. There's something, I mean, obviously there's some stuff in there you want to keep and you should keep, but with all the boxes and that, you could do something cool with that room down there.
No, I don't give a crap about the room. I come home, I go upstairs and heat some kind of dinner, and then watch TV and Google news for the podcast, and then hit softcore porn and girlkiss.com, stuff like that, and I'm done. It's
By
it.
the way,
Huh?
there's a huge documentary about Pornhub on Netflix right now.
Oh, I should get that.
Have you watched any good? I mean,
No, I realize, but that's why it is. I'm avoiding it because, well, one, I have some things I know the kids would want. I've got a signed poster of Rodney Dangerfield for Caddyshack stuff. I even got a couple of things, but I don't have any valuable stuff anymore. It was all gone with the divorce. She got everything I've ever owned, and everything in the house. Well, but still, I don't want to. If I throw it out, it's like, well, that's. Well,
That-
you're empty. It's over. I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
I think you just
I
have it
might.
face on and start going through the stuff.
I know.
Do it a little bit of a time before you
know.
know it's over.
I
Buy
know.
yourself a pair of headphones.
Yeah, I know.
Go down there and
And actually, well, I do have an idea, but I was going to. I wonder whether my daughter Jennifer's on the podcast right now, or whether sometimes she watches live. I don't think she goes to get it after we've done it. Because I have a I know one thing I do in that room down there to make it kind of an exercise
Excuse me?
room. Never mind.
All right, here's the question.
Yeah.
Is the maraschino cherry at the bottom of this good or
Yes,
bad?
no good. All
Sometimes
good.
they're bad.
Well, then you got a bad place. But in fact, I actually have a bottle of maraschino cherries. And if I have some kind of my Pepsi or cherry Pepsi or something, I will take a couple of those cherries and mush them up and put them in the soft drink, in my Pepsi, and pour some of the cherry juice into the soda. Or whatever I'm drinking. Oh, even in a lemonade or ginger ale, little cherry juice.
Grenadine too, man.
What's that?
Grenadine.
Grenadine. Here's another one. It's a little. It's a little stronger, maybe, or there's some different.
Good.
Yeah, but it's good. It's
good
wonderful.
Cherry. By the way, grenadine is good if you have strawberry shortcake. And you didn't have quite enough sugar and water to make it. Just pour a little grenadine down there.
My mother used to make the most delicious homemade biscuits for strawberry shortcake. Oh, God. Oh, and homemade I'd make the whipped cream, even when I was 6. I used to love to make whipped cream with actual heavy cream and sugar and vanilla flavor or whatever. Oh, man.
Hey, you want something funny?
I do.
I got a dozen eggs the other day.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I hadn't had eggs in a while, so I'm going to cook my eggs. So I got the eggs out, I got the skillet out, got the oil out, I got everything, the cheese out, everything ready to go. And I realized my spatula is still packed up somewhere.
Oh, you had nothing to cook them with?
Nothing to cook with.
How do you cook shake up? Well, could you take a pencil or something?
A pencil?
Well, a pen and just stir them around and make them scrambly. I don't know. Knife. I know knives.
I was thinking about just flipping them, over easy. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. Gazune's here. Oh, good God.
I didn't think about even scrambling. There's a pain in the ass.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Before I forget, last night watching Fox TV while I'm doing all my stuff, and Jesse Waters at the end of the show is on with that the chubby comedian Jimmy somebody, not Kimmel, Jimmy what? Fallon, yeah, whatever that guy is. It's Jimmy, isn't it? Jimmy Fallon?
Yes.
Yeah. And they were doing this story. They were doing the video story of the farmer in, was it Oklahoma, who has wild zebras. And wild zebras are protected. And although this was, I guess, was his pet zebra, but they're allowed to run wild or whatever. Anyway, so his pet zebra, a few days ago, attacked the farmer and basically tore his arm off.
Wow.
I mean, basically almost completely ripped off. And if you've ever seen the picture of me when I was bit by the stallion, through a leather motorcycle jacket, and he got me here, through a heavy motorcycle jacket, and the black and blue mark, I mean, he could have broken my bone if he had wanted to. They were very powerful. And so the zebra almost tore the guy's arm off. The cops went out to investigate it, and Jesse said, okay, so here's a video of what they were doing, and they showed from the cop's body cam. And you can see from the cop's chest body cam, a zebra is slowly walking. He's about 10 feet away, and the cop kills him with a gun.
I know.
And the zebra falls over on the ground. I couldn't believe it.
I know. And what kills me, the zebras are the police of the animal kingdom, so that's total disrespect.
Well, I mean, but you're sick bastard.
It's my birthday. I can do whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want. I was horrified. You can't show that on television. Come on. And he said, "Oh, I didn't know it was going that far." And then he says, "Oh, it might have been a hand." They should have been outraged. And then they were joking about it. Jesus, I mean, shit. And I tried to find some, reaction on Google. Nothing. Anybody care on what do you call, not FaceTime? What do you call it? Twitter. And I go, nah, not a word. Nobody gives a shit. How about nah? Nobody cares. My God, they should bang plonk. And by the way, for the record, zebras are different. And I'll tell you this: I couldn't find it this morning. I was trying to find. All right, I'm going to calm down. Huh? Thank you. No, everything's good. Everything's good. I have video somewhere. Maybe I may have erased it by mistake or changing in phones. Who knows? But somewhere down when I was down in Florida, where I got jacked 15 years ago, whatever it was, 20 years ago, whatever it was. One day at the stable down there, I was walking Jack. I was going to do something. I was walking out near where the corrals were, and about 2 corrals over from where I was. People were kind of gathered, and all of a sudden, Jack, who's an 18.2 hand, 1,800-pound giant of a horse, and a real alpha horse. If you've seen those videos, you know that. I started walking Jack, and he froze. He would not move. I mean, and his ears were up, and he was alert, and he was on guard. He was actually frozen like a freaking statue. He was snorting and frozen and wouldn't move. I couldn't move. I wouldn't walk forward or anything else. And I realized as I looked over there was a baby zebra. That's what they were looking at. Somebody who owned a horse there was transporting a zebra to somebody for something, and they left him for overnight for a couple days in one of the corrals. Baby zebra, which by the way is sort of, if I remember, is kind of a purple or pink and gray color. They aren't black. They aren't black and white. It comes out later, but I think that might have been like a light purple if I recall. And he was like 50 yards away from where Jack was, and Jack was so scared he wouldn't move.
You know why?
No, I don't.
Because they're the police, and the animal came.
And Jack was afraid he was going to catch him for the felony of that. Oh, God.
There's a video on, I don't know if it's YouTube or Twitter, but some guy puts on a zebra costume.
Oh, and goes into him? Yeah.
No. It goes out with the lions, right?
Yeah, the lion, yeah.
Thinking this is funny. There's two of them, isn't it? Two guys in the lead.
Oh, my God. To go out with lions as a zebra?
And one grabs it by the head, and one grabs it by the ass. Did it kill one of them?
No, I mean, I don't know if it was a joke, but I just saw it in the reel, and it ended.
And the lions are like...
And then I saw somebody else do one with an alligator. They had like an alligator suit. You can.
I saw that. Yeah,
you can pretty much lay on the ground and you put it on like a blanket and it covers you. And then the front is an alligator. And the guy went up to the back end of alligator and just started tapping it.
That's a good way to get sodomized by an alligator.
Yeah.
But a lot of times with an alligator, they'll just get skittish and run into the water if they're not hungry. If they're hungry, they'll turn around and.
Yeah, that's not good. Let's see. I've got a last. Oh, here we go. Something was breaking this as I was kind of at the end of getting the show together, which I found basically astounding. Just in, quote, an event is coming that is going to rock the world. A victim of Jeffrey Epstein is releasing 9 videos showing elites engaged in deplorable acts with children. Comments. Bill Gates claims he doesn't know why he visited Epstein Island 36 times. He might have lost count in the teens.
Uh-huh.
That's cold. Jimmy Kimmel claims Aaron... Oh, gee, have you heard about... I don't like or follow anymore Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers, who now is... We'll be talking about where he's going. I'll ask Pete about Holy Grappid Sports in a minute. Jimmy Kimmel claims that Aaron Rodgers is a tinfoil hat-wearing dude for wanting to know the names of Jeffrey Epstein's client list.
Yeah, went after him on national
television. Jimmy Kimmel, according to Juanita Broderick, who was raped by Bill Clinton, Jimmy Kimmel's a low-life slug who likes to project his own immoral conduct on others. Jimmy Kimmel's close ties with good friends, including the chef of Jeffrey Epstein, have now come to light. One of his best friends is in Epstein's inner circle. Juanita Broderick says she had the story for 3 years. They had Clinton and everything. Amy Robach on Epstein also said the same thing.
So here's how crazy it's gotten. If you even want to know the client list of these pedophiles, so you can not keep them in office, something like that, that makes you, according to Hollywood Elite, that makes you a conspiracy theorist and crazy.
Yeah, right.
Because you want to know
why
the
list.
list.
Why are they protect? I mean,
because they're pedophiles. Well, here's what. Here's Larry posted. You know what? Michael Caine just turned 90.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see his thing about pedophiles?
No.
Here's what he said in an interview. I'm quite the rabid right-winger about pedophilia. If you want to bring back hanging for them, then I'm your man. I'll pull the lever. Don't get me started on that. I hate it. Hate it.
Don't blame him. And by the way, they don't change.
No.
I mean, if you
That's
catch a pedophile, that's not the first time he did it. I mean, you can pretty much be guaranteed.
It'll be the last time if I catch him.
Well, I mean, and there's so. In fact, we're going to talk a lot about. We're going to talk a lot coming up here about kids and gender and schools and what's happening and the woke people. And I mean, our country is it's exploding into this nonsense. We'll do it. Also. Well, let me get to that before I do that. Also, speaking of animals. I don't think this is right. I don't like it, and don't tell me that I'm a dog lover. I'm a cat lover. I love all animals.
Another sad story.
No, it's a happy story. It's a happy story. No, it's not a happy story. I missed your birthday. Well, you're the one who had it, not me, mister. I wasn't even there that weekend. You could be my son, by God. He could be my grandson. This is wrong, and it's just wrong. The National Kennel Club has now revealed the number one dog in America. For the first time in 31 years, there's a new number one favorite dog breed in America. Pete and Flounder, do you know this story? You want to guess?
Bulldog.
What do you think is the number one dog? What was until today, or this right now, the number one dog in America?
Golden Retriever.
Flounder?
Or lab.
I was going to say a
Labrador Retriever. Okay. And now you believe the number one dog is what?
I was being joke as saying bulldog, but labradoodle or something.
Labradoodle?
I
like
know
a
the
mix?
answer, so I'll...
Oh, you know the answer.
Oh, okay. The number one...
Say it.
Number one dog, a sturdy, push-faced, perky-eared, world-weary-looking, distinctively droll French bulldog.
Bulldog.
French bulldog.
Well,
French
so
bulldog
ugly.
is not the same as a bulldog
It
by
isn't?
a mile.
I didn't know that.
No, they have a...
Really?
They ousted. Oh, they have a flat.
Why?
Well, we're going to talk about it. Frenchies ousted the They call them Frenchies. French bulldogs ousted the Labrador Retrievers from the top list for 31 years. The reason the Club of America says they're comical, friendly, loving little dogs. They have modest grooming needs, exercise needs. They offer a lot in a small package. It wasn't even in the top 75 breed 20 years ago. Now, the problem is the veterinarians and dog lovers are saying the problem is now people are going to be paying a lot of money for these exotic little dogs with their exotic coat colors and special textures and so forth. Yeah. And the problem is when they make the breed so popular as now the number one breed is going to get even more popular, they say there's nothing healthy about propagating dogs prone to breathing, spinal, eye, and skin conditions. Yeah. The British Veterinary Association says don't buy them. Do not buy flat-faced breeds like Frenchies. The Netherlands prohibits their breeding. Huh. And the reason is they can't breathe. I mean, they really do have struggling breathing problems. And this is a true story. I'm a dog lover. For some reason, dogs love me. They all come to me and play with me, and I don't know why, but they do. And I remember sitting on a sidewalk, this was a few years ago, sitting on a sidewalk somewhere, and this little French doggy, little flat-faced doggy, was with his master at the nearby, it was someplace nearby, I don't know, whatever. And the little dog came running over and jumped in my lap, and I'm petting him, having fun. And all of a sudden he starts, hyperventilating, like that. And the owner says, "Oh no, yeah, you got to be calm, because they don't breathe for." Oh my God!
And there's some of them they have to give cesarean birth.
Yeah, I mean, but here we go
because the heads are so large.
Here we go. I mean, anyway, I mean, congratulations, I guess, but I don't like it, and I hope it doesn't mean bad things. Let's see. All right, hold everything. Oh, we got a million. In fact, I can't wait to hear. By the way, Pete and I talked last night. You gave me a list of some things that you wanted to mention today. Dad jokes, Mick Jagger, Swalwell, Potato Head stuff, Waking the Dead, pizza flavors. So the first one I wrote down, all I could read of my own handwriting was a B and an R.
A B and an R.
And the first word that you gave me is something you want to talk about. Bruins, Barskers, Bakers.
The Bruins.
Was it Bruin? I couldn't read my own writing.
Okay, remember last week we talked about the Bruins, and they had when they won the Stanley Cup a few years ago, 2011, they had a bar bill that was $130,000.
Yeah.
Well, I looked more into it, and it turns out 100,000 of it was one bottle.
Who the hell ordered 100,000?
It's a Magnum. It's called Midas.
Was it Rothschilds?
It's called Midas. And I'm seeing if I can find it here. It's called Midas, and it's a champagne type thing, which is owned by Jay-Z and somebody else. They own the actual winery or whatever. And it literally comes out as it's like $1,000 for the damn
$100,000.
$100,000. I'm sorry, $100,000 for one bottle. Somebody bought that.
It can't be any good. It's probably 200 years old.
No, I don't think it's that old.
Well, then how could they make the grapes be good enough that they would...
I don't know how the hell they can justify something like that. I can't find the bill here, but it's just unbelievable. $100,000 for one bottle that someone could do that.
Just see where... who's that actor we like who's... Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. What he just did?
He's just sold his phone company for $1.5 billion
to T-Mobile.
It's like it's a partial phone company thing that goes with other phone companies.
Mint. Yeah. I don't know how that works.
$1 billion plus.
Mint uses T-Mobile's antennas. How can they do that? Why does T-Mobile allow that? I guess the government makes them do that, and then they turn around and buy it. And they're already using it.
I don't know.
$1 billion plus.
It was like 1.2 or something billion.
He's brilliant. What a businessman and an actor.
Did I mention we're trying to make it to $20,000? If we could make $20,000, I swear to God, if I could make $20,000 a year,
he's buying Welsh soccer clubs with this money. That's how rich he is now.
Oh God. Well, that's.
It's unbelievable. He's just a Canadian actor.
I know.
Plays a silly role.
Yeah, I know.
And he's now a billionaire.
I know. I'm sorry.
Of course, he's married. You know, he's married to.
I forgot.
Blake Lively.
Oh, that's right. I love her. I mean, she's got almost has like a. She almost seems like she has an expression on her face like she knows something that you don't. I mean, she has like she's joking about something. It just seems like a really hot chick. She just seems funny and clever and like she's always got a smirk on her face or something. To me, I don't know. She seems like she's happy.
With her and the shark.
No,
she's in Mexico.
Did she go naked or a bikini or something?
She gets called out on a reef and a bunch of rocks.
I know, and
the shark is trying to kill her.
Yeah,
it's a pretty damn good movie.
Yeah, I don't want to see it because they don't take. Isn't it like the story about the people who got left off the boat on the scuba diving trip?
She's right off the coast. So the thing is, does she try and swim in while this shark is circling?
She looks like a hot chick. She looks happy and just happy to be with you. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously, I mean.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
They're the it couple. I'd have to say.
Well, you got to say. Yeah, I thought she was a hot dish. Now, speaking of ballpark things and stuff, you were going to mention something about ballpark pricing while we're in the sports theme here for a moment.
I'm glad you asked me because.
And while you do that, I will mention to our friends that if you are driving along,
did you just say doodad?
Doodad.
Who are you, the new basketball coach at Georgia Tech?
Doodad.
Did you hear his press conference?
No.
Damon Stoudemire?
No.
We're going to do this, and we're going to do that.
This and do that.
This and
He's from Philadelphia, is he?
I don't know where he's from, but he's
Brooklyn.
He's the face of Georgia Institute of Technology, and he can't speak English.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a new ride, maybe you'll find a like-minded car owner just by driving down the road and see what you're doing, and then go on the internet because I'm talking about swapmywhip.com. Whip is a colloquial phrase for a ride. Swapmywhip.com. You might well just find a like-minded car owner who says, I've got a car here. I'd love to trade it for something else I've always wanted. You may have the car or your friend does, and you make your own deal. Bing, bang, boom. No middlemen, no dealers, no sponsorships with any kind of deal to worry about, salesmen or anything else. You do your own thing. Swapmywhip.com. And it's not just cars, obviously, trucks and SUVs and boats, jet skis, go-karts, I'm assuming, electric bicycles, ATVs, off-road things. I mean, whatever you can. If it rides, it's a whip. You make your own deal. And boats, the whole deal. Probably airplanes. I don't know. I'm just saying. Check it out yourself. And use the Kimmer coupon code, KIMMER. It's 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. Which is a lot of fun to have aboard.
Well, you were out in San Francisco in the 80s, right?
I was for a couple of years in the 80s.
I found a list of the prices if you went to a Giants game at Candlestick Park in 1971.
Which I think I might have once.
In 1971?
No, in 71. No, I never went to that ballpark. I went there to work. I went there covering stories, but never to go to a game.
Guess what their number one sandwich was at Candlestick Park?
In the 70s, number one sandwich? Probably a hoagie or something?
Corned beef.
Corned beef?
And how much do you think a corned beef sandwich would knock you back?
In 1970? Well, probably 60 cents or
85 cents.
Yeah.
Same with roast beef. Turkey was 60 cents. Salami, egg, Swiss cheese. The whole box lunch, $1.50.
Wow.
But if you wanted a hot sandwich.
And this is at the ballpark, which is more expensive than, your
in
local
San Francisco.
diner.
Yeah. Hot sandwich, pastrami on rye, a whole $1.
Wow.
Corned beef on rye. Not a hot dog, a Frankfurter on a roll, 40 cents. If you want it grilled, I guess cooked, also, that's a nickel more. If you want a hamburger, that's 65 cents. Pizza, 35 cents. Cake, 25 cents. But pie was 30. Pie was more expensive.
Well, it's harder to make pie, I think.
I guess, and you got to use fruit and everything in there. To go down here, popcorn and peanuts, a quarter. Ghirardelli candy, 15 cents. Ice cream was a quarter. Milk was a quarter. Now we get to beer. If you want a regular beer, it was 50 cents. If you wanted a premium beer. How much more would you pay for that?
Well, it's got to be another quarter anyway.
A dime. A dime for a premium beer. And you could buy cigarettes, Filter King and regular. How much do you think cigarettes would set you by a pack of cigarettes?
Oh, I used to get them I got them in the 60s when I was a kid. And it was a quarter in the vending machine at the gas station. But cigarettes at the ballpark, probably 80 cents or a buck or something.
55 cents a pack.
Yeah, I used to get them for 25 cents. When I was a kid, I was 12, and I'd go into the gas station when nobody was looking, and I'd put a quarter in that vending machine and pull out a pack of Lucky Strikes, and off I go and find some matches somewhere, and I go out and smoke by myself on the ditches and stuff.
You know how I know that I'm out in the boonies now? I went to buy the local newspaper when I was gassing up today.
The Boontown Farms.
It basically had something, it was a small newspaper,
Yeah.
and it said 4 quarters, $1. Like, who the hell has quarters?
4 quarters anymore.
I had to go find 4 quarters.
I remember when I was talking about the Columbo TV show once. Man, that's right. One more thing, and he was at the airport bar with a chick.
Yeah.
Airport bar in Los Angeles. So it's like 900% more than 1970 or 71, maybe like that. And he had an iced tea, and she had a mixed drink cocktail, and the bill was $1.05.
Oh, he's like, they reach in a pocket, they pull out a little change, and they leave that as the tip.
Yeah, a great tip is a quarter. 20% tip is a quarter. Of course, I also bought a car for $2,500, brand new. I bought a brand new house in 1972, 4-bedroom house in a cul-de-sac, a brand new, just built for $44,000 too. So everything was.
I think we're getting to bingo card territory.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right, now a couple of news things. I want to talk holy crap at sports because there are a lot of sports things I definitely want to have fun with and talk about. Did you see the video? I assume you have, of the Russian jet that actually ruined the drone through the fuel on it and everything. By the first, I said, "Holy crap! They released and showed you they did it." The Russians were saying, "Well, it was your fault for everything." They clearly did it on purpose. I think he probably accidentally hit the blade. He probably got too close, but he definitely deliberately was trying to mess it up by throwing fuel all over it. You could see the shot right at it.
Where did this happen?
Over the Black Sea, international waters.
Where is that located?
In Russia.
What if the
Baltic
Russians
Sea,
running drones off New Orleans and the Gulf of Mexico? When we feel like, okay, shoot it down. What the fuck are we doing running drones in the Black Sea?
Not over international waters. If it's international waters, you have to respect it.
But it'd be like the Russians off the coast of New Orleans.
We're the government, the President crime family, the Biden 7, got us into a war with Russia. We're at war. We have to have drones up there to see what's going on. We're making war with Ukraine against Russia.
Wait a minute. Our Navy's at war with them too?
Apparently now. Well, wait a minute.
Kevin, my point is, we got no effing business being there running drones in the Black Sea.
I agree with it. We should. This whole
Let
Ukraine
Turkey do
thing
that.
has gone
They're
way.
NATO.
Yeah, I'd rather have NATO be in charge of all this instead of. We're already doing way too much, and now if they're talking about F-16, the new fighter ones going over the thing with pilots and training. I mean, come on, people, what are we doing? And and if you want to call me a Putin supporter, you can kiss my ass too. You better say it to my face. I mean, this is bull crap that's going on now. Any Republican that says he's against this unlimited billions of dollars going to Ukraine is now somehow a Putin operative.
Did you see Ron DeSantis came out?
Yeah, he separated himself from all the rest of them.
Against both Republicans and the Democrats, so he's being attacked by the neocons on the left side and the nut job, we want all the money for the military-industrial complex on the right.
Yeah.
That shows that DeSantis is thinking about us. He's not thinking about Northrop Grumman, and he's not thinking about the freaking neocons either. It's
just getting way too much. And by the way, the Russians now are on the scene trying to recover it. And apparently it's way down, like a mile deep or something. They probably won't be able to do it, but they're on the scene to recover it. But I'm surprised that drone, I guess it was strictly surveillance, but aren't they all weaponized? I mean, couldn't they? Why wouldn't that drone have shot down the damn jet?
That's right. We had a drone over there shooting down
Russian fighter jet tumbling by the American drone. That probably wouldn't have cost anything.
You're sending mixed messages here, I think.
But that's the point. What are we doing?
We're not doing it. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closet. closets, by the way. You can have all the
That's what we're
messages
doing.
you want in the closet. ClosetPro.net. Call 404-255-0589. That's where our drone should be, in the closet. Atlanta Custom Closets.
By the way, and they are a great company, and please do patronize our sponsors, because we only have a couple of them, and they spend money with us, and we want you to take care of them.
We have five. We have five right now.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's times are tough, and they're spending money on us for a podcast. So I mean, we're trying to help them out.
Six
in
if you
return.
include Denise.
Well, Denise is like a weekly sponsor.
And Denise, I'm going to read.
She sent you 2 cards
I'm going to read the cards when I get home. Thank you very much.
And by the way, one quick thing on politics while we're at it, maybe a couple quick things.
By myself.
And then we're going to hear some funny stuff. Speaking of president crime families, now the Biden 7. It's like, remember the Chicago 7? You old enough to remember the Chicago 7? And now it's the Biden 7.
Netflix trying to make them heroes with that stupid
please.
movie.
I think this is a mistake. You don't eat your own. President Trump's allies in Florida have now filed a complaint with the Florida Commission on Ethics against Ron DeSantis. A 15-page complaint claiming that he's leveraging his elective office and breaching his associated duties in a coordinated effort to develop his national profile, enrich himself and his political allies, and influence the national electorate, unquote. What the hell are they doing? What, are you kidding? Reagan said that, don't do, no. You don't start attacking your own. And it's going on. Now it's getting personal. They want him suspended from office. They want him kicked out of the governor's office. Donald Trump's supporters are suing to try to get Ron DeSantis thrown out of office and censured and fined. Add this to the list of frivolous and politically motivated attacks. I mean, it's
That's
typical.
what Republicans do. They eat each other alive.
Here we go.
And they screw the rest of us.
And this is not going to make the way for Mike Pence. Mike Pence is not going to be president.
Never.
Do you think Trump's behind this, or do you just?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or do you just think it's patriots?
His ego is so. Look, like we said before, if he's on the ballot, we're voting for him. But his ego is going to destroy the country.
And honestly, I'm afraid that he'll never be elected again.
Nope.
Everybody every moderate or every independent is probably going to say, and sit home.
And sit at home.
It's not going to that they're voting for the communist. They're just going to say, screw it, we can't win. What's the point? I mean, it's
hard to argue with them, because no matter who gets in office, they all seem to be working for the same elites.
I know. Well, look at the people who voted for the Ukrainian. Look at the Republicans turning on one guy who says we ought to think about this. A couple things. Speaking of politics, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, and I want to talk about President Crime Family. The Senate in Michigan Senate has voted to now repeal the law which allowed Michigan to be a right-to-work state. There are 27, I think, what so-called right-to-work law states in the country, which means you can get a job without being forced to join a union. Georgia's one of those states. Michigan used to be until recently, and now they're going to get rid of the right to work law in Michigan. Of course, you knew that was coming because of their freaking governor, who somehow is still in office. But I remember when I came here, I won't mention when, because that's on the the commercial bingo T-shirt. But the radio station I worked for. Then I was not a member of any union. I just come out of graduate school. I was not a member of a union, and I got a job, and there were some union members at the radio station. And just a few weeks after I got here, there were the union employees went on strike.
Yeah.
And so I would drive to work in the morning. I was doing the morning shift with Aubrey Morris and Bob Ketchersid and those guys. And I drive to work in the morning to get there at 5 o'clock, do the 7 o'clock news. And there would be 2 or 3 guys out there with their signs and their picket signs. And of course, the union was basically weak and worthless. And they kept pressuring me and calling me names, all of us who drove in to go to work, because I wasn't in the union. I wasn't hired to break the union. I was, this had been, months after, whatever. Anyway, so eventually, of course, they lost everything. And, because they weren't getting paid and they were out of work, and they didn't make anything with the contracts. And anybody who goes on strike in a place where not everybody supports you is going to lose. And even if they do support you, they're going to lose. And just a quick union story, which I may have mentioned years ago, and I'm sure you're going to remember this. Fast forward, yeah, okay, sorry about that. That was
Denise.
Denise, and again Denise. Oh my God, you know, we're gonna be oh my God, happy birthday, Pete, with a 3-way.
Denise should challenge all our other listeners to match her.
I dare you
to match her
be
donation.
The new Denise.
Maybe we should do once a year.
Who's bigger than Denise's contribution?
Once a year, we should have a thon, a Kimmer-thon, and have a running
Well, then
total.
we have to buy her a crown or something then to make.
Like Camp Twin Lakes. Once a year, we'll raise money for it.
Anyway, thank you. As we speak. So then fast forward several years, and in New Orleans, I was here in Atlanta, ended up going to New Orleans for a couple of years, and sure enough, at the TV station, there was a strike, and I was still not a member of the union.
Yeah.
And so we had the strike meeting, and the strike the union representative was this young woman, probably 5 years old. And she was saying, no, we're all going to stick together. We're all going to strike. It's going to be so-and-so. And then she made her whole spiel. And when she got done, I said, okay, everybody say whatever you're going to. I was the anchor man. I said, everybody say what they want to say. Okay, fine. Now let me tell you something. And I gave a little bit about my experience. And I said, let me say, I said to her, first of all, how much is in the strike fund? And she said, I said, you don't have a strike fund, do you? So, well, I mean, what do you mean? I said, if these people go on strike tomorrow or next week or whatever, who's going to pay their mortgages? And I talked to Billy, who was the director. He's 24 years old, just bought a house he has a young wife. I said, you got money in the bank to pay your mortgage for 6 months or a year if you're not back? And I looked at each one of them individually. I said, who's going to pay your bills coming up? She's not going to do it. And then I looked at her and I said, by the way, one of her union representatives had been blasting me from what happened in Atlanta years before, and had been calling me a strike breaker.
I was about to call you a strike breaker.
Yeah, and so, but I was not in the union, so I wasn't hired to break the strike. I was there and hired, and then they went on strike, and the rest of us did. There were like 3 guys on strike. All the rest of us were at work, so it wasn't like I was hired to be a strike breaker. Anyway, so now fast forward years to New Orleans, and the guy was complaining about calling me a strike breaker, and I said to her, I said, let me tell you something else too. If your stooges say one more, if I hear one more freaking word about you calling me a strike breaker, and I said, I was never a member of the union, and you're trying to pull this against me, and I said, I'll be coming after you, and I'll be coming after the rest of these people. And I said, I'm telling you right now, if you vote to go on strike, you're going to get screwed. You're going to lose everything. And I'll tell you this: I will abstain my vote in our meeting right now, so that you can go to the boss and say we was all, entirely for it. There was no negative votes whatsoever, so you can be a unified team to try to negotiate whatever you think you're going to do. I'm not going to try to screw you for this stupid vote, but I'm not going on strike, and I'm not going to vote for a strike. And if you go on strike, you're going to lose, and you're screwed. And if you ever come at me, and I started attacking this, I mean, I really went after. It was a bully. It was all building, like I'm doing right now. It's all building up. But the point was, in that meeting was a reporter named Elizabeth. And I didn't really, I mean, we worked in the same company, but I didn't really know her, but I obviously knew who she was. She knew who I was. As we're leaving the meeting, at the end of this meeting, and I didn't really know her at all. I didn't know much about her. As we're leaving the meeting, she comes up next to me and says, Jesus, you got balls, Peterson. And walked off like that.
Kimmer, you told the story.
I know I told it many years ago.
No, you told it a month ago.
I did not tell it a month ago.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not tell
Balls,
it.
you said the same line, too. Peter said you got balls.
So that's what she said, and I'll never, that was 1974.
It's my birthday, I'll allow it. But I'm just saying. I'm surprised the union girl didn't say, hey, Moose, Rocco, help the man find his vote.
Well, here, I was the end of the story was about the unions, and the thing with the union, when I came here to radio, we had to follow the union rules for shifts. For example, one of my shifts for a while was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the Saturday-Sunday shift was from 3 to midnight. Which was fine with me one of my first starting things, 3 to midnight. That was fine. The problem was the contract said if you work. Contract said you have to have at least 24 hours off or 18 hours off before you're called in for a third day or something like that. So the problem was they wouldn't let me come into work until like 3 in the afternoon on Monday or on Wednesday, whatever. And I said, I don't want to come in. I want to come in at 9. You're not hurting me. And I wouldn't let me do it. So I used to come in and not clock in. They had a time clock. And I used to come in and not clock in and go to work and do stuff, and then, oh, God, hey, wow. And then try to remember, to go down and clock in when I was supposed to, and I got in trouble for anyway. But just same thing when I was in San Francisco for 2 lousy stinking years. We would be I remember covering a teacher strike. And it was a monster story. Shut down, kids in home. What are they going to do? It was a horrible, as you imagine. And we were at the middle of a teacher strike. The teachers are there, and they're screaming at the podium, and the crowd's yelling stuff like that. And the freaking 2-man camera crew says, "Oh, okay, we gotta shut down." And I said, "What are you talking about?" So lunch break.
Okay. Okay, you told this one.
I told that last week, 2 days ago.
Cindy backs me up, says, yes, you did tell the story. Gwendolyn says, yes, you did. In fact, almost word for word retelling.
We weren't telling. I did. There's no way I told that story.
You did that about a month ago. I swear you did that about a month ago.
What context was I talking about the
your ex?
in
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans?
About your ex and how you first met her or something like that.
God.
By the way,
I quit.
By the way, this makes it. Brandy.
No, really. Good night, everybody.
Excuse me. Brandy just gave us a rather large donation.
Brandy. I love that name.
It's a good name.
But we owe you.
She's a fine girl.
I'll bet she's got a silver locket from the silver from the finest silver from the shores of Spain. And if she has a locket that bears the name of the man she truly loves. I tried to pick up a girl who had a name tag on that said Rhonda. And I said, "Help me, Rhonda."
No, she's never heard that before.
It's not so. Oh, my God.
Well, speaking of you retelling your stories, and that's on the bingo card, you know where you can get a bingo T-shirt?
I have no idea, but if I had one, I could get one if I knew where they could
FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Well, there you are.
That's where you get
Eric and the gang.
That's
Love
right.
You guy. You got your own doggy up there.
They do have a dog?
I know the doggy. Went to see him play with him when I was up there getting the T-shirts and the podcast blanket.
They rented it for you.
No, it's a beautiful little golden doggy.
Oh, well, no minimum order, no setup fees. Order as many you like of whatever you want. Hats, tumblers, coffee cups, shirts, whatever you want.
Golf towels, blankets.
Golf towels, that's right. Laser engraving for the leather goods stuff, all kinds of good stuff. It's FarmhousePrintingCo.com. They do all our stuff. They do, holy crap, it's sports stuff. They Shannon Burke stuff. Unbelievable.
And we'd love to have them aboard. And they do great. And by the way, the work is quality work. And it's sometimes you think it's hard to get colors onto fabrics, but I'm telling you, you've seen their stuff. They do. They're a beautiful job.
It's gorgeous.
A couple things. A flounder, if you get ready, sir. This is really amazing, and I guess it makes sense. Pete and I talked about this last night. When I first heard this, I was flabbergasted that apparently Jimmy Carter has asked President Crime Family to give the eulogy when Jimmy Carter dies. And the first thing I thought was, oh, my God, this man who can't say a sentence, but of course, he's not going to write it. Somebody's going to write it for him. So if they can get him to practice enough to read a eulogy to Jimmy Carter, I guess it would be okay. But again, he's going to say, remember the times, he's going to do his whole icky kind of creepy uncle routine. But Jimmy Carter was endorsed by Joe Biden back in the 76, one of the first Democrats to endorse him. And Jimmy Carter wants to return the favor. And I'm just afraid that when President Showers with Daughter gets up to the mic, he's going to say, is Jimmy here? Where's Jimmy? Is Jimmy, but again, here's the reason why. As you know, I've been famous over the years. It hasn't been done in a while with my famous Kimmer's Hidden Secret microphone. And I had one installed in the White House secret briefing room where the president goes to practice with his puppet handlers his public speaking. And we have now, do we have the tape? We sent it by Doc, came back here with the Kimmer's Hidden Secret microphone, actual video or audio of the president, Showers with Daughter, practicing his eulogy for when Jimmy Carter dies. Right, there's a little bit of it right here.
Should be Washoe County in Nevada. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with that turned blonde in the sun.
What?
Yeah, just keep working. All right, well, more practice. It'll
Washoe County in Nevada.
it'll be fine. Well, you know the thing. By the way, President Potato Head got caught in another lie, which shows his character, and I think that was going to key something for Pete Davis, who's going to give us a quiz here in a
Mr.
moment.
Potato Head. No, it's a brief little thing. Do you know the original Mr. Potato Head was just the pieces? You were supposed to supply
Get your own potato.
own potato to put the stuff on it.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did as a kid. We didn't get a potato in the mail or in the box.
Well, now it's a plastic potato with the holes in it.
I never had. We had a potato head with just the pieces, like you said. We had our own potato. That was the fun of it.
Back in my day, we supplied our own potato.
That's true. No, really, I didn't know they had now. Well, that's no fun. You should get a real potato and stick the things in it. That's
food.
half the
You're
fun.
wasting food.
Well, you can eat it later.
Poor kids couldn't play with their
I made
food.
roasted potatoes. I set the oven to 450 by Gingers, and I put the roasted potatoes on a tray and sucked those suckers in there for 22 minutes, blackened beautifully. And the same thing with I did my broccoli and cauliflower mix.
By the way, Blaine is defending you. He says, now, new listeners have not heard some of Kimmer's adventures, to which Cindy replied, they will many times.
That's Cindy with two Y's.
One eye.
Well, I have Cindy with an I, Cindy with two Y's, and Cindy with a Y. So we have to differentiate sometimes. Anyway, President Stupidhead has gotten caught in another lie about his character. I saw this. He was being interviewed with, I can't remember the name of there's an Indian, from India type Indian comedian who's really good at what he does, and he's one of the guys Ram Scam goes to Thanksgiving or
subcontinent Indian or
from India.
Oh, India.
He's a comedian, he's an actor. He's been on specials. You'd know him if you saw him. You know who he is, and he's a famous guy. And he's got a podcast doing interviews, and he had on President Showers with Daughter, and President Showers with Daughter said they were talking about the business of gay rights and gay activity and so forth. And President Stupid said, actually used this word, he said, well, you know, I had an epiphany when I was a senior in high school. Epiphany. I had an epiphany when I was a senior in high school, he said. I was in my car, my dad was dropping me off, and I was in the car, and I saw two men wearing business suits, and they kissed. And then one went over to the Fernman building, and then the other one went over to the Flukman building. And it was just like they were on their way to work. And I looked at my father, and my father said, son, it's very simple. They love each other. Oh. And it was then, I swear to God, these are his exact words. Son, it's very simple. They love each other. We could find the audio. I mean, I believe you don't need to because I'm giving the word for word. They love each other. He said, then I had the epiphany about the two men and that they simply love each other. Okay, first of all, the buildings he mentioned, one of them was 7 miles from where he was, from his high school. He dropped off at his high school. 7 miles from the high school. The other building hadn't been built for 15 years.
No men in business suits in public are kissing each other
in
near a high school
1959.
in 1959.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Secondly, for the record, then in the 1980s, and they played it on Fox last night, Joe Biden, as the United States Senator, was angry. Why are we spending business on this gay marriage bill? Marriage is between a man and a woman. And now we're talking about gay marriage. We're talking about things. Everybody knows a marriage is between a man and a woman.
I know.
Yelling.
I know.
You know, if that had been Donald Trump, you just know, I mean, if you put anything that he does and change the politics of it, of what they let him get away with, how could not every member of the media, when I was a reporter years ago with, when everything was, trying to find out what was going on, if I had come across that audio and his current comments about what he did then, that's a major story. I'd have gone to the news director or the producer and said, oh my God, we caught the president lying through his teeth about a major issue that he's, making things change for diversity and equity. This shows he's a freaking liar and he's got no character at all to do anything for the politics of it. What a great story. Nah.
No, let's not do that.
Can't do that. If that had been Trump, you don't think they would have caught him in a lie?
They've overwhelmed us with all the mistakes and all the screw-ups and everything. They've numbed us. We're numb to it.
It's just Joe. It's like Manny being Manny Ramirez. You know, oh, it's just man. It's just Joe.
It's like my friend in
No
Santa
big deal.
Monica. He says, "Oh, it's just Uncle Joe. He's leading us down the path to hell." But it's only Uncle Joe.
Just telling another one of his stories. In fact, I got another one coming up for you too. First, do we have the Dana Carvey? The other day,
You said Dana Delaney when you were telling me.
I said
And I'm
Dana
going,
Delaney?
Dana Delaney has an
No, I was
impression
thinking
of Joe
about her.
Biden.
I was thinking about her on the birthday list from the other day. I was like, or is she on today? Maybe she's on today's birthday list. I have to. No, it was the other day I mentioned her.
I'm not lucky enough to have her on my birthday.
Anyway, we
maybe
mentioned
I
her the other
would.
day. I got her here somewhere. I thought I did. Anyway, Dana Delaney was on some guy's podcast or whatever.
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. I did it again. Sorry, Dana Carvey was on.
I thought she's talented.
I guess I need one of those life alert buttons after all. I don't know. I'm losing it, I tell you.
I'm falling.
Run it again, Jimmy. The horses are loose. I don't even know what that means. Dana Carvey was on the podcast, and he does a pretty good President Pervert bit. Here you go.
Was just, kind of initially it was my father lost his job.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's
No joke. No joke. No one thinks it's a joke. Not kidding around here. Come on, like the following flaws is proclaimed in the Declaration of Independence. The all men are secreted equally. Excuse me, secreted pirates of the Caribbean.
Again, that's fine. He's only the freaking president. And then did you see the other day?
I love the name of that podcast. You see that?
What is it?
It's Burt Weiss and another guy, two bears and
Two bears, one cave.
Oh, really? That's
Of course, now is he gay?
no.
Because that's
that's a little
big, fat,
unmanly.
hairy gay guys are known as bears.
Well,
Oh no! That's
one of
really-
his comedy bits is he
Really?
takes his
Serious?
The ones
shirt
who wear
off.
leather and they
Oh,
walk
man.
around with no shirts. Yeah, they call themselves bears
Oh,
because
my
they're
God.
hairy.
Well, the other thing is Burt Weiss. He does his bit with his shirt off when he comes on
That's
stage.
right. He's got a thing on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
I'm going, I'm not going to watch this guy with this
But
fat dude.
he's really funny. You know, what's that movie with Ryan Reynolds when he was in college? He was the party guy who never graduated.
Van
Full House or
Van Wilder.
Oh, Van
that
Wilder, yeah.
that
Never
character is based on Burt Weiss.
Burt
Yeah,
Kreis or
Burt
what?
Kreis.
Kreis.
Burt Weiss.
Burt Weiss is a.
I
Yeah,
can't
he's the-
watch a fat guy walking around with no shirt on.
No,
I don't
it's
care
not-
how funny he is.
It's not attractive.
No.
And by the way,
Burt
Ryan
Weiss.
Reynolds, he did what was that spy movie he was in where he played a CIA agent? That was a great movie,
One with
man.
Denzel?
Yeah, wow, what a
Yeah.
great movie. Safe House.
Safe House. Yeah, I've yet to see that.
And again, he played a tough killer guy, a CIA
I'll
guy.
have you know that last night I'm sitting there trying to figure out Roku or Farm Stick or whatever to
Yeah.
sit there. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just found my Xbox and I get my Disney Plus on Xbox. I wonder if I can get other stuff on there as well. So I plug it in and it's not working. And I'm looking at it going, well, maybe I've got the wires in backwards. Well, that never works. But I changed the wires around, worked like a charm.
How would you put the wires in backwards?
I got them in the wrong thing. So I changed them and it worked. And I
I'll
got
be
my
damned.
Disney Plus working. I wonder if I can get something else. And I found something called Fubo TV, which I can get. Let's put it
like
this way.
F up to B-O. F
For
up.
$120 less than what I was paying AT&T and Comcast,
Yeah.
I get more than what I had from them doing this streaming thing.
Really?
Yeah, I get all MLB Network, NFL Network, ESPN, the 4 major networks, the 4 Atlanta local stations. I get all kinds of Fox Sports 1, the 3 weather channels.
But is that only on your computer or is that
no,
going
no,
to your TV?
I'm watching it on my Samsung TV.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
that's great.
And it's $90 for the premium package. I was paying almost $200 for the whole internet blah, blah, blah
Yeah.
bundle.
Yeah. Well, good. And you must feel good that you figured it out. That's got to be a good feeling.
I was very, very
Well,
surprised.
when I figured out something the other day on my stupid computer, I couldn't believe it.
But now
I
I
called
got
Flounder and said, "Oh my God!"
But now I got a new problem. But now that I got the TV working and I'm getting it through the Xbox and the TV because I found I could have just done it through the TV,
Yeah.
which I tried to do last week and couldn't do it. But I'd use this Fubo thing. Now I play this stupid little game every night on my phone, and now it won't completely download. So I guess I'm using up too much streaming. But okay, well here's the problem. So I just tried to download it here, and it won't do it on yours either. So that seems to be so. It's not a problem with mine because it should download on yours too, right? Because you're not using a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm not using a whole bunch of stuff. And I have less. You probably have more bandwidth than I do. I'm sure you do.
Maybe it's the game you're trying to download.
But why would it be not here or up there? That's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a personal thing. But I just thought that was weird that I got that figured out. Of course, you get one thing figured out, something else is going to break.
This morning on my phone, when I opened up my phone, I hit my passcode and opened up, there was a song playing. And it said it was U2 singing something or other. And it was a song playing. I don't have song playings in my phone. I don't know where it came from. And so I tried to exit out, and I couldn't delete it. I swear to God,
YouTube's done it again.
I couldn't delete it. And I kept trying to go through. I looked at my settings. I kept going swiping left and right to try to see if something was on or where. It never found it. So finally, I just had to shut my whole phone off and shut it down and reboot the whole damn thing, and it disappeared.
Years ago, they surprised everybody with Apple Music. YouTube downloaded an entire album, and everyone got mad. I'm thinking, why are you mad? They just gave you a free album, but everyone got mad about it. Well,
I couldn't figure out how to stop it, I couldn't stop it. And it was every time I opened my phone, there's a thing of U2, and then I go, what the hell did this come from?
wait a minute. U2 was singing sea shanties?
I don't know what they were saying. Something. I don't know what it was.
I'm
but I had
that record
and I
from
thought,
Georgia.
now what did I do now? I didn't do anything. Anyway. Okay, now speaking of President Stupid, did you hear about the little girl letter on the gender issue that she sent to him? President Showers' daughter tweeted a handwritten letter that he allegedly received from a little girl asking him to fix the gender wage gap. The error-riddled letter read, "Dear President Biden, I just wanted to tell something not fair to ladies. Men are getting more money than girls. I think you should fix this since you're the president. Even I'm a child, and I think we should do something." So the president said, "Well, Charlotte, I couldn't agree with you more. Women lose thousands of dollars each year and hundreds of thousands over a lifetime because of gender and racial wage gaps. I'm committed to building an economy where my daughters have the same rights and opportunities as my sons." Well, Twitter had a little fun with this one, too. "This is so fake, it's embarrassing that Biden's handlers even thought anyone would think it was real. They have staff writing fake notes from children to Biden now? LOL. Hey, which of your staffers held the pencil in the wrong hand to write that one?" Looks super real and totally not fake to me. People actually believe this shit? And then holy load of bull, Batman. I mean, just this letter is so fake, it's embarrassing. The wage gap is even more fake when you factor in job choice, willingness to work nights or weekends, job danger. There's no wage gap. It comes from comparing a part-time female teacher to a full-time male engineer. Are we sure Jill Biden didn't write this one? It's written at the same grade level as her joke of a dissertation, on community colleges valued to the local communities for colleges. Here we go, my favorite. Just tell Charlotte to become non-binary. Problem solved. Just tell Charlotte she's a boy. If she suggests Charlotte, if she exists, will face male oppression in sports because of Biden. Poor Charlotte will be competing against men in any sport she decides to join, but her parents will put her in thanks to Biden. Hope she doesn't end up with a concussion. By the way, I saw one little meme going around saying, these woke parents will never spank their children, but they'll cut their nuts off.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They won't spank their 7-year-old son, but they'll let him chop his testicles off if he's 12 and doesn't feel like a boy.
And teachers won't let your child get on the bus to go to Fernbank Science Center without a note from you or telling you, but they'll hide the fact that the kid wants to bind their breasts.
Keep it secret, and help and give them the binding. There was the case of the school, the nurse gave them the breast binder material. Hard to freaking believe. All right, speaking of this, we're going to have a little fun here for a second because I was checking out my friends at the Babylon Bee. There we go. Mike Hunt and his other reporting friends at the Babylon Bee. So just a couple of quick headlines for things that are in the news. Man struggling to feed family, just glad he could help bail out a bank. Bank learns hard lesson that if they invest their money irresponsibly, the government will bail them out. Congress takes brief pause from spending all your tax dollars to Ukraine to send them to Silicon Valley Bank. Biden administration promises to tax Silicon Valley billionaires on all the money the government is sending them. Wife, I like this one. Wife begins molting from layers of blankets in preparation for spring. Colin Kaepernick sues adoptive parents for $21 million in reparations. Did you see that we didn't talk about it? When he actually complained his parents were racist who raised him to believe part of white supremacy. His adoptive parents.
He turned.
You
That's
dirty
how slow he's
bastard.
He's attacking the people who saved his life.
God.
And gave him and put him in the position to succeed that he did. Now he's attacking. That's how low he's gotten and needing of attention. He's attacking them.
And not only attacking them, but he's attacking adoption. He's attacking.
He's a piece of shit.
I mean, think of the
All to get a Muslim piece of.
Jeez, yeah, his
tail.
girlfriend, the Muslim chick who was an executive in Black Lives Matter.
Oh, speaking of Black Lives Matter, your Silicon Valley Bank, they
Yeah.
donated over
yeah.
$73 million.
Yeah.
But they got no money to bail out their people. But they can give
Right.
$73 million to Black Lives
And
Matter.
they donated to Biden, too. One more from the Babylon Bee from Chappaqua, New York. Fernando just sent us another big time Charlie. Howdy, boys. Keep up the outstanding work. And Brandy, wow, Brandy, God bless you, sweetie. Dateline, Chappaqua, New York. Hillary Clinton, who famously shattered the glass ceiling for all of womankind, took to Twitter this morning to have a touching tweet for Fox News on-air personality Tucker Carlson, in which she expressed her condolences for his suicide next Tuesday. Bill and I were saddened to hear of the passing of Tucker Carlson next Tuesday. We may not have agreed politically, but he was certainly a person. He was certainly a person. Our warmest condolences to his loved ones, if he had any. Hashtag suicide is not the answer. The viral tweet trended for hours until people started to point out that Hillary Clinton could not possibly know of Tucker's mental state and must be threatening to have the media darling murdered. The tweet then mysteriously disappeared, along with 2 Twitter employees who are now presumed dead. Weird, said authorities. Coincidences, am I right? Tucker Carlson's been under tremendous fire in recent weeks due to his unapologetic airing of the January 6 footage, which appears to undermine the leftist narrative. But experts believe Clinton has no stake in the January 6th narrative and that she just hates Tucker Carlson. Tucker, in the meantime, gave the camera a confused but concerned look as he read the tweet live on his program, Tucker Carlson Tonight. Anyway. Continuing on with, what's this about Mick Jagger? Is there something with Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger has said something very interesting.
Some personalities I mentioned, Mick Jagger. Swalwell did something stupid we're going to talk about.
Jagger says,
Hitler's even in the news.
Jagger goes, you start out playing rock and roll so you can have sex and do drugs, but you end up doing drugs so you can still play rock and roll and have sex.
Can you imagine what that must have been like? I mean, every night or day. And
Anyone he wanted.
I mean, they're just waiting to go in and have sex with you, I guess. I mean, just hanging around outside the door to come in and be
How they would
groupie.
get through that without having some kind of, I don't know, disease at
They
some
probably
point.
all have all of them.
They probably got.
I guarantee in the 70s, the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, they probably had it all.
Anyway, poor bastard. And what did Eric Swalwell do? Do you need
Swalwell is actually putting it out there that Fox News should not be allowed for our servicemen overseas to be able to watch. And he goes, I'm not for telling anybody what they can watch.
No, you don't want to say that. But you shouldn't be able to.
We need to look into this Fox News being shown to our servicemen overseas.
It's called the American Forces, American Forces Vietnam, but the Armed Forces Network, and then it became, it separates into where you're broadcasting. But it's, I mean, come on, and all it is, they have actual people who do it. I did it. A lot of people you may have heard about did it.
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak. Yeah.
I know the stories where he even says it.
Well, I'm just saying. You brought it up. Sorry, I asked about Eric Swalwell. The Dawn Busters. Anyway. Okay, we'll get to it now. A couple of other some weird newsy things going on. Just mention it briefly. San Francisco Board of Supervisors has actually voted to continue looking into a slavery reparation bill, which would give every black person in San Francisco $5 million.
What?
First, at $5 million. Every black person in San Francisco, $5 million. Plus, they could buy any new house on the market for $1, and they could buy as many as they want. No, I'm serious. So one black guy could buy, I'll buy 5,000 of those new houses, Your Honor. I mean that's honest to God, it's in black and white. They wrote it down. $5 million to start, period. Tax-free, by the way. No tax, no more income taxes. They could buy any house, any new house on the market, and as many as they want for $1. They would also have all their debts erased of all kinds. They would be guaranteed a salary of $97,000 a year for 250 years.
That's not going to cut it in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
United States.
Yeah, and it was more. It would cost them $600 billion. I mean, you know, and of course people are saying, how are we going to pay for this? Are you kind of, you know, how are you going to? I mean, can you? I mean, even, insanity. I mean, anybody with their common sense in
they're
their
trying
right,
to crush. They're trying to crash the system. They're
but
literally doing
but
it.
they didn't laugh them out of the chambers. They passed it. They said, oh yeah, well, we're going to we'll go on to the next.
I don't give a
oh my!
what they
I
do
hope
out
they
there.
do. Honestly,
Please.
can you imagine the people at claims?
Because right now, every African American in America is moving to Atlanta.
That's
fine.
right.
That's where you want to be. That's fine. But it'll quickly become San Francisco.
And by the way, and I don't know whether I may have told this. I was there for 2 years and hated it. I mean, I love the scenery, and I drove over the Golden Gate Bridge twice a day and saw Alcatraz and Devil's Island. And so it was really a geographically beautiful place. Drive up to Mount Tamalpais and the
God,
Redwood
it's beautiful.
Forest. I mean, go down the...
They're destroying paradise.
The Coast Highway. I mean, honestly, we say this all the time. If you have an opportunity to do geographical traveling bucket list stuff, the California coast, Northern California in particular, is just awesome. I mean,
Yosemite.
just spectacular. I mean, you know, the national, I mean, the whole deal. The same thing with New England, with Boston, not Boston the city, but, you know, Paul Revere, forget the Old North Church. I mean, the graveyards. I mean, and then go up the coast, the rocky coast of Rock Island, Maine and stuff. I mean, you know, get an opportunity for those things. New York State, the Adirondacks, the Catskills, the Roosevelt estates. So I mean, it's just a spectacular place. Anyway, but in San Francisco, and it was 1980. I was there for 2 years in 1980, and in 1980, I remember the housing boom had gone nuts. San Francisco was so expensive. The first thing I remember was I was starving to death. I was making $85,000 a year, and I was broke, completely, totally, couldn't afford anything. Housing was way outrageous. Laundry, dry cleaning. I mean, everything was food, everything else. And there were cameramen. I remember we were talking about there were camera guys who were making $60,000, $70,000, $75,000 a year at that point. And they had bought houses, thank God, 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 years ago. But one of the stories we did was about the housing market. Those camera guys and the union members who were not making a lot of money, were making a salary, good salary, but not for San Francisco because everything was so expensive. Their houses are worth $700,000, $800,000 that they paid $80,000 for 10 years ago. It was unbelievable. My girlfriend, who died on me, actually flew out. She was in Chicago. Flew out to look at buying some houses so we could be together. And we looked at the. Oh my God! I mean, it was completely outrageous. I don't know whether that. It can't be the same thing now. I assume because people are fleeing and the crime and the slums and the.
Oh, it's still.
You know, but it's still outrageous. Silicon Valley has boosted everything with the billionaire, the 20-year-old billionaires. Anyway, San Francisco, and the people. Oh my God, trying to get a date with a woman. Oh please, your banker has pink hair and a freaking nose ring. I mean, please, they're just freaks. Chicks will turn on you if you try to flirt with the wrong girl, man. She's gonna tell her friends. Anyway. Just for a record there. Sorry.
Personal experience.
Turned rather bitter there at the end.
It's a little bitter. It's a little bitter. On the other hand, when the girls found out you weren't gay, then anyways, whatever. Did you see that Newark, New Jersey got hoaxed by a serial rapist from India who's on the lam from India. A young guy claims he has diplomatic immunity, that he's a member of some, he's a president or of a tribe at a country with as an island name, the Antasia or something like that. And he he's on the lam from India. He's wanted for 5 rapes in India. So he fled. He's now in America, and he's done this for a lot of places. He got caught in Newark, New Jersey. The video showed a huge ceremony with this guy in his Indian dress and the funny clothes and the costume and the robe things and a whole deal and spears or whatever he's got, scalpel thing. And the mayor of Newark's there, and he's all dressed up, and the city council's there, and they're giving him a proclamation and a key, and our sister city with Antushalanjalandia. And there's no such place. There's no such country. There's no such island. There's no such city. No one even Googled it. No one even
Google search.
But it wasn't that it wasn't, a lot of people, they will send you a letter, and then some city in Spain will say, do you want to be a sister city with New Orleans? Sure, why not? But, and they send back a proclamation and stuff, but they don't have ceremonies and parades. And Newark had the whole big deal and stuff like that, and it was all fake. And it reminded me of it was once on the West Wing, they did an episode on it, but it came from the old Marx Brothers duck soup. Groucho Marx and the boys.
Fredonia.
Fredonia.
Hail, Fredonia.
It's like Morania, Slavolia. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You know what's funny? I'm watching the second iteration of Vikings Valhalla, and they're saying that we're going to Pomerania. And I started laughing. I thought, no, wait a minute, there really was a Pomerania. You know where it was?
Probably outside of Greece or something.
The northern coast of Poland.
Really?
Pomerania.
I'll be damned.
And that's, I guess, where the dogs came from.
I will be damned.
But they're acting like a big bad the big bad Yums Vikings live in Pomerania, and you expect them just to all burst out laughing.
I've got a whole bunch of woke things, and did you see what was going on at Stanford and also in Denver and also at Charlie Kirk? 3 examples of how we'll prove to you here very briefly in a second how the left has now completely undermined the First Amendment in every possible category, and they claim that shouting down speech is also free speech. But which is not the point. Of course, we'll get to in a second. A couple things on Holy Crap at Sports. Maybe tonight you're thinking, or tomorrow? Tomorrow. But you got your party stuff because it is your birthday today. A couple quick things. Hi, kitty cat. You came over to say hi. Apparently, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are hiring Mayfield as their replacement for Tom Brady.
Yep, a bucket of ice cream. That's what they're using.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers says
he wants to play. He wants to play in New York City.
He plans to play for the Jets of New York, and apparently they are all in favor of it. One more quick sport. You have any comments on either one of those guys?
Up to this point, I've supported Aaron Rodgers. He can do what he wants. Finally, I'm over him. I'm tired of it.
I'm kind of tired of the drama.
I'm kind of tired of it now.
Yeah.
I like the fact he called out Adam Schefter and said, "Lose my number, bro."
Yeah.
I'm sick of this sideshow. Now, his ego is so out of control, man.
Yeah,
just sign the damn thing. Well, it's not to him now. The Packers have to trade with the Jets.
They have to work it out.
Come on.
I know.
Yeah, because they still owe Aaron Rodgers $55 million, don't they?
I'm just tired of it. Get it over with.
Yeah. A quick note: Tom Glavine back to the broadcast booth.
Yeah,
for
he
40
took a year
or 50
off.
games. He wanted to be with his mom, who passed away last December. And he wanted to spend. She was 86.
I met both of his parents back in 1990s.
Really? I never met his folks. I played golf with Tom Glavine. Never met his family.
I wrote after a night of drinking with the late great Jack Kennedy. We took a Learjet back with his family, and I bought this big old thing, a loaf of bread from a Little Italy.
Yeah.
And basically used it as a pillow to pass out on the plane.
Oh.
And at one point, Tom's mother looked at Jack and goes, "Is he okay?"
No, he's not, man. No, keep moving. So that'll be fun. I like Tommy Glavine. I think he's a special guy.
Well, now Bally Sports just went bankrupt. So who?
Yeah. So what the hell? I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't know. Well, the Braves, you
Disney?
will see the games. There are 4 teams that are getting screwed, from what I understand. The Reds
Really?
and the A's, they may not have any. MLB's got to step in and televise those games.
How is it possible that nobody can be broadcasting baseball games? I thought they would have
Because the
trillions
company
of dollars.
just the company that was bought all the rights just went out of business.
But how they're getting money from all the TV stations? How could they not make money?
No, it's not the baseball clubs. It's the TV rights people. It's Bally Sports, Diamond Sports. They paid too much. There's not enough money to be made.
This is unbelievable.
Only baseball could things up like this.
One more baseball
Was
thing.
it rumored that Disney might
Oh God, no.
with the Braves?
No, we don't want.
I hope no, we don't want
Well,
anything
I
to
wouldn't
do
be
with that.
surprised.
No, some will step in, but for the other those poor clubs, MLB's got to step in.
Yeah. I mentioned this the other night. I couldn't believe this, and I watched a little bit of spring training just to kind of see who's doing what, and if any superstars are having a good time or whatever. And I watched a couple innings to do something else. But I was watching the other night, and Greinke, what's his name, Zach Greinke. Yes, sir. And I forgot who he played for. Who's he played with?
He's played for the
Royals
right
now.
Royals mainly. I think he's back with the Royals.
It's Kansas City. Kansas City Royals, I believe. Anyway, Zach Greinke, who's been, he's won the Cy Young. He's been a superstar.
Diamondbacks.
He's a big superstar pitcher. He has a very deliberate motion. To me, when he gets ready to pitch, and then he kind of halts and then lets it go at the very end. It's
he
very
almost
unusual.
quit because of he couldn't handle all the.
Yeah, he had a mental issue with something.
Yeah, about being outside and people yelling and everything like that. He
didn't like the stress of it or this comfort zone or whatever, and he really literally almost quit. Well, he's back, and he's back in fine form. But here's what was amazing. They were describing in the booth, and I rewound it to play it again to pay attention. You know that these days the pitchers and catchers have a system which I think most use. I don't think they all do. Most use where the catcher has a button or a device on his belt, and he will signal or his knee on the whatever somewhere on him. He has a device, and he will click or done or whatever they signal the pitcher what he wants him to pitch. Instead of putting the fingers down, they have a bing bang dong thing, and they go 1 beep, 2 beeps, or whatever. Bing dong. Well, Zach Greinke has it on his belt. He calls the pitches. Yeah. And I thought, oh my God, that's the first anything other than above high school. I mean, I used to call my own stuff, but anything above high, I've never seen that with anybody where the pitcher actually called the pitches. It's always been the catcher, or now it's always the manager.
Reminds me of an old Peanuts cartoon where Schroeder, the catcher, has got out to Charlie Brown to pitch on the mound, and Schroeder goes, okay, 1 finger is for your slow ball. Two finger, your slow ball. 3 finger, the 3 fingers, your slow ball. 4 fingers, you change up to your slower ball. And he walks back, and Charlie Brown goes, I hate when my catchers are smart Alex.
But again, I thought that was amazing. I mean, what a hell of a story that Zach. I mean, he calls his own pitches, and why not? He knows the batters.
He knows them more than anyone. It's like Greg Maddux. You going to tell Greg Maddux what he should be pitching?
And once in a while, they show that stat that came up with something like Greg Maddux once, threw 25 games without walking anybody or something ridiculous like that, or he once pitched like 7 innings of ball throwing 40 pitches or, whatever.
There's that meme which shows a house. It's a white house, and there's splotches of color around the sides.
Yeah.
They said, I hired Greg Maddux to paint my house.
House.
But he only painted the corners.
Yeah, painted the corners. I mean, but an amazing, amazing story.
Oh, now, by the way, you want to see, I'll take this the right way.
All right. Uh-oh.
When you were talking earlier about your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sophia says, girlfriend who died in 7. Stan said, not just died, but died on me.
Oh, sorry.
Cindy
it's
said,
just the way
in his arms.
I don't use
said,
that one because it's too sad.
Corrected.
I haven't one died in my arms in a while because it's too sad. But she died in my arms. What can I tell you?
It's just funny they're saying it. Now, later, we're going to get into 2 letters that people have written us.
Oh, God.
That are rather very amusing.
Sure I want that idea or not.
One of them you do. Oh, before you do that, Kim, I have a question for you. I got a question for you.
All right, question for me.
Are you tired of arriving to surprises at your weekend cabin?
I am.
All right. Have a mountain home you're having trouble maintaining? Well, worry no more. Call North Georgia Intendancy. We can manage your North Central Georgia vacation, weekend, or rental house so you can relax at yours. Visit us at ngaintendancy.com or call 770-595-6664. Do you want to finish this? 770-595-6664 for all your cat and North Georgia Fountain Home needs.
What a kitty! That was a breakthrough. That was a breakthrough. That's the first time we've been here, sitting here, and he's jumped up on the table.
He's done it once before.
Not with both of us sitting here doing our show. I mean, he's jumped up on it. He did it this morning. I got him.
The look he gives me when he does it, he's just like, what?
Anyway,
what are you doing up here?
And I'll post that later too. That was so funny. Anyway, all right, back to the actual program. Now,
yes,
an update on the Michael Irvin story, which I find I thought a couple things. I want to ask your opinion here, and I'm going to tell you the latest on the story. They've released surveillance video of Michael Irvin's conversation with a woman at the hotel. This started off some time ago at the Marriott I forgot where it was now even. It doesn't even have enough freaking story. Anyway, okay. Here's what happened was they've released surveillance video. The Marriott hotel employee, his conversation with a woman hotel employee. She and her employer are alleging that he performed some kind of misconduct, some kind of perhaps sexual misconduct. The video shows him chatting with a woman for about 2 minutes. They shake hands, go their separate ways. They initially shake hands before going to the hotel bar. Throughout the conversation, Irvin, the former, is he a Hall of Famer? A football receiver, got to be a Hall of Famer from the Cowboys. Irvin appears to touch her elbow twice. Again, they shake hands. She goes back inside the bar. A few seconds later, Irvin appears to slap himself in the face 3 times before walking toward the main entrance to take a selfie with somebody else and then back toward the lobby. There's no audio, but Marriott claims that a, quote, visibly intoxicated Irvin made the employee visibly uncomfortable and asked her a sexually explicit question. Irvin also reached out and touched the victim's arm during this conversation without her consent, causing her to step back, becoming visibly upset. Let's see. Irvin then asked the victim whether she knew anything about having a big black man inside of her.
Oh, boy.
Irvin then attempted to grab the victim's hand again and said he was sorry if I brought up any bad memories for you. The victim then pulled her hand away and tried to back away from Irvin as he continued to move toward her. Irvin says it's bullcrap and the conversation never happened. So I don't know, but he's suing the Marriott. Of course, he got when this came public. ESPN kicked him off the air.
NFL Network.
Or NFL Network kicked him off broadcasting for that weekend show, and now he's suing for $100 million or something, suing the Marriott for false whatever. But now, who knows? I mean, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think.
I haven't seen the video. Does she recoil or?
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell. It shows her backing away and then going back in the bar. But again, he said, she said, and who knows? And I don't know.
I remember when he was with Dallas, he was in a hotel room with some women. Well,
and he's been caught
numerous times.
They called it the White House. It was a house near
Yeah. Now, a couple of stories. How are we doing at the time? We doing okay here? Oh, yeah, we got a long time. Did you see what happened at Stanford University at the law school? If you don't think our country is going in the wrong direction and that they've now finally eliminated the elements of the Bill of Rights that the left doesn't like, Stanford Law School dean has had to apologize to a heckled federal judge, and because of that, hundreds of students wearing masks have showed up to complain about it after complaining the first time, causing a protest shutdown. Hundreds of protest students at the law school at Stanford lined the hallways outside the dean's classroom after she apologized to U.S. Judge Kyle Duncan for disrupting of his speech the other day. Judge Duncan teaches, Judge Martinez, the law school dean, teaches constitutional law. She found her whiteboard covered in flyers ridiculing the federal judge who was invited to speak, defending those who disrupted his speech. When he showed up, they heckled him so bad he never got any kind of way to speak of anything, and they're saying that counter speech is free speech. They aren't guilty of shutting down his free speech. They're saying my counter speech is my free speech.
That's what the brown shirts in Germany said in the 1930s. Well, this is our free speech too?
Yeah, exactly. The counter speech is free speech. They formed a human corridor, talk about eerie, threatening from classes to the building's exit, containing a third of the school's student body. They gave us weird looks if we didn't wear black, said one first-year student. It didn't feel like the inclusive, belonging atmosphere the DEI office claims to be creating. Another student requested anonymity for fear of retaliation. He said it was too scary. They were silent, staring behind black masks, choosing everybody to protest, including the dean. It was even earlier than when the Stanford National Lawyers Guild said that she had thrown him under the bus when he got heckled by all the students, never got to give his speech. First of all, how could law students anywhere, let alone at Stanford, not want to hear from a federal judge?
They're spoiled brats.
That's what they're there for.
They're rich, spoiled brats
God.
stamping their feet.
I mean, honestly, I'm out of my mind about this. If Stanford, do you know how hard it is to get into Stanford?
Kick them out. Teach them a lesson.
Why would you not want to have part of your education of being a lawyer hearing from what a federal judge was thinking when he made his decisions? My God, that's the whole point of it. But they would rather be so political and eliminate the opportunity to hear why he did what he did in order to protest the fact that he did it without knowing why.
Stamping their feet.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And again, that was the other night. And then when she apologized, well, first of all, she said, at the beginning, she said, well, you've caused harm by your decisions. That's why they're protesting against you. Then she had to apologize. And then they scared her and mocked her. The associate.
It's a mob.
Last Thursday, the Federalist Society chapter invited the judge to speak. He was shouted down and heckled. The associate dean did nothing to quell the disruption. In fact, claimed the judge was causing harm with his work in the appeals court for an opinion basing transgender sex offenders' preferred pronouns. I mean, so this is where this all comes from. And then the dean had to say, well, we apologize for the disruption and so and so, whatever. Okay, now, another quickie. I'll keep this shorter. Georgetown law professor called racist as he tries to deliver his speech at Georgetown University professor at the University of Denver. The Federalist Society invited him to speak. The Colorado chapter of the National Lawyers Guild canceled his speech, tweeted the administrators that police were there making sure the campus was safe for racists. It was no mere disagreement. Those who oppose him, their ideas are not even valid or welcome, so they threatened him as well. The judge said all these epithets, it makes him look ridiculous. He was placed on leave after he criticized Biden's pledge to choose only a black woman for the Supreme Court, and they eventually had to kick him off the University Center for the Constitution at his law school. I mean, it's unbelievable. He said, you people are not professionals, shouting epithets because they didn't want to hear what he had to say. He said, you're not going to be an effective professional lawyer. Radical mobs, illiterate liberal radical mobs shutting down events that don't value free speech, due process, and the fundamental truth-seeking mission of the university. That's the point. I mean, I can't freaking believe it. Now, one more quick thing here in relation to that, which I got a big kick out of because I know you're going to rip me for this. The woman I used to have the hots for in a kinky way with Drew Barrymore. Well, Drew Barrymore, she has a talk show. Who doesn't? But she has a talk show. She had on her talk show that guy pretending to be a woman named Dylan Mulvaney. He's the one who went to the White House and was talking about, don't hide the bulge and all this kind of stuff that show Diversity Week and so forth. So Drew Barrymore was interviewing this guy on the show this week, and he was talking about Days of Girlhood, his series. And during the segment, he talked about all the hatred in his career. And so they led to a hug, and Drew Barrymore got down on her knee in front of him, kneeling him, sitting on the floor. And of course, Twitter went nuts. Women are now getting on their knees and hands and knees to show solidarity with a man who's lived as a woman for less than a year. Truly the sneakiest trick the patriarchy has ever pulled. Why does Drew Barrymore hate women? Kneeling and bowing down to a man who mocks women? She's slapping every single woman in the face. What an insult. Woody Harrelson was right. Fame has some very negative effects on the brain. All hell breaks loose after Drew Barrymore prostrates herself before trans woman, Red State Deputy Manager joked. Does Drew Barrymore not realize that she is literally on her hands and knees for a man? The patriarchy wins again.
In front of him as if she's about to blow him.
That's right. Kneeling down in front of him, the man-woman. He was the one who questioned whether states have a right to ban gender-affirming health care, and he actually got President Showers with daughter to say, I don't think the state should ban health care from young people involved with gender transition. That really should not be they should not be interfering with it because he's a freaking freak. This guy Mulvaney, the man-woman with Drew, said, he's the one who says, normalize the bulge. We want to normalize the bulge. Women can have bulges, and that's okay. We're not going to stare at their crotches while they're wearing their little shopping shorts. Dear God. Dear God. All right, hold on. I got one more related one, and then we'll stop this. This again to show you this is where we're going. This is where we're headed. Seattle School District, Washington State's biggest school district, in a financial crisis, student enrollment plummeting, has now changed some of their gender words. They have traded words like female and male for person with a vagina and person with sperm. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, students as young as 9 will now get their sexual health education starting next month in Seattle Public Schools. And the curriculum aims to reduce gender stereotypes and heteronormativity. Let me say that word again.
Up with heteronormativity.
Heteronormativity. The idea that heterosexuality is normal.
It is the norm.
Jesus.
Else we wouldn't all
Mary
be here.
and Joseph. But do people not realize that if we want to continue the human race, you need men and women?
Well, maybe
Unless you can make it in the lab. I mean, at some point,
Petri
maybe.
dish.
But dear God, but you still need the sperm and the two different XY and the XX. God almighty.
Not to mention sex is fun.
I mean, that's why God made it fun, so you do it, so you have babies.
How do you remember?
I mean, think about it. If God made it totally painful, nobody'd have a kid. Well, I mean, they have to suffer from what they've done.
It's painful
but
for
us,
dogs.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Actively dismantling toxic masculinity. Again, this is school districts in Seattle for kids as young as 9. Actively dismantling toxic masculinity is the key tenet of the school's district approach towards sexual health education. Use inclusive language. Get comfortable with using they and them pronouns. They're taught the anatomy of a, quote, person's uterus and how a person ovulates. Sometimes people get pregnant without having vaginal sex. The egg is fertilized. A doctor puts a fertilized egg in a person's uterus and a person's pregnancy. They're 9.
I know. They don't even know what a uterus is. I didn't
Dear
know what a uterus
God.
was till I was like 18.
I mean, this is so bad. Last thing, Netflix show for preschoolers. Here we go. Netflix junior cartoon for preschoolers is facing a backlash after children are now being identified as non-binary and they and them pronouns. The season of Ridley Jones, released this month, has a coming-of-age episode called Happy Herd Day. A female bison named Fred is eager to show off her leadership skills to her grandma, but gets nervous after realizing the grandma doesn't know about Fred's new pronouns. Grandma doesn't know I changed. She still thinks I'm her granddaughter instead of her grand Fred. I do want to tell her. Fred comes out to Grandma Dottie, portrayed by singer-activist Cyndi Lauper, and uses his name Winifred. My heart says the way I feel most about myself is to go by the name Fred because I'm non-binary. This is Netflix children's episode show. I mean, come on, you're killing me here. Lord.
Hey, they're the ones that have to live with this society they're creating.
I know.
They're gonna watch it all fall apart, and AI is gonna take over because they're all weak. There's no alpha males to fight back, and it's gonna be over for them.
Shall we do a fun thing? Did you get that? You got the banned jokes thing? Did I sent you that message? This is one of those.
Before, or we've done this comedian before.
We haven't done this list, though. We haven't done this thing. Here's once again, once in a while, a comedian will show up, pop up on. I'll get a message from some of my buddies, and they'll send me along to it. And here's a comedian with some of the banned jokes, which would be hard to find these days, just for fun.
Why? Oh, here we go. Let's start that again. And here we go.
Making history, first woman of Jamaican and Indian descent to be elected African American. Well, sexual identity is a big issue these days, and Disney, of all corporations, got caught up in it. I can't believe it. Disney just doubled down. They announced they're making a feature film about a transgender whale. It's called Maybe Dick. And the border wall obviously is a big issue. To show you how divided this country is, recent polls show that 40% of all Americans are for a border wall, 40% are against a border wall, 20% said no comprende. I gotta tell you, as an American, I don't care how Mexicans feel about a border wall, because with enough time, they'll get over it.
They'll get over it, ladies and gentlemen.
If you see something, say something. All right, if you see something, say something. You best believe I do. The other day I called 911. I was watching ESPN Women's Swimming, and I saw a suspicious package. There's internet rumors right now that they're making a new Superman film. It's not a traditional Superman, as we all know. This will be a black Superman, and it's not kryptonite that will harm him. No, it is Kardashian. The Miss Nevada pageant occurred recently, and a transgender won it for the first time in the pageant's history. I think that's fantastic. I think what clinched it was the talent portion when she wrote her name in the snow. Kamala Harris making history, first woman of Jamaican and...
Okay. Anyway, just a little pretty fun. Also, we've mentioned this before, and it's kind of it seems like a racial thing, but it's actually more of a common sense thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, especially if you're in public. Do not argue with a black woman. I'm saying you're taking a serious risk, and luckily, sometimes it doesn't turn out too badly. Like it happened just the other day in Michigan. A white couple were coming out of a Chipotle restaurant, and this was in Oakland County, Michigan. Coming out of the Chipotle County restaurant, a 44-year-old guy and his 34-year-old woman, and they were going to go on trial when the judge dismissed the charges because they decided the witnesses weren't going to show up to complain after all. The parking lot of the Chipotle, a woman allegedly bumped into a 15-year-old black girl as they were entering the restaurant. Tequila Hill, the black girl, told the Detroit Free Press that the Detroit woman, rather, told the Free Press that her daughter asked the woman to apologize for bumping into me. The woman said, no, wait a minute, I didn't do anything. And all of a sudden, apparently the black family confronted the white couple, and the woman wrote, so this is America. I've never in my life had a gun pulled on me. I've never felt so helpless. And there's some video of the exchange showing the white woman pulling a gun and saying, back the F up. The wife says, the white woman said, they were blocking the entrance to the car. I had a railing behind me. I was trapped. I couldn't go anywhere. They were yelling at me, screaming at me, berating me, calling me a racist, that I was ignorant and so forth. The husband tried to get out of the car, but he couldn't get out, and they tried to back up. The car's automatic braking system stopped. One of the women in the black family was banging on the car, screaming and yelling at him. And the white woman said, we're not going to go home tonight. We're not going to see another day. I have to do is protect myself, and draw her gun, which she did. Now, the white couple, because of the video that happened, was spread around. They not only got death threats, they both lost their jobs because they stood up to a black woman who challenged him with a 15-year-old black girl, said, you owe me an apology, bitch, and whatever, and off we go. Holy crap. I mean, Now, oh, by the way, in case you do go to prison, I know exactly where you would want to, oops-a-daisy, I know exactly where you would want to go, and I've got it here in a second, I swear to God, Irvin, oh, come on now. I hate this. I've got it here somewhere. Oh, here we go. It was the second story. Well, no, it wasn't. God darn it. All right, I know this is killing you, but I've got to find that stupid I can't believe this. Somebody erased my story. All right, anyway, what happened was a principal just got a job in Kentucky, a middle school principal, just got his job, 44-year-old man named Leroy Littles. The Olmsted Academy in Louisville. They had a big sign, welcome Principal Littles, so he shows up his first day on the job and gets arrested. Yes, the police showed up and served him with a warrant for 4th-degree assault and 3rd-degree terroristic threatening. Apparently, the principal of the school had driven to his girlfriend's house and spotted her leaving with her ex-boyfriend. So the principal, who is a black gentleman, challenged the girlfriend and the ex-boyfriend, and there was an argument, and then he beat up the ex-boyfriend, who has face all marked up and so forth. The cops arrived at the scene to find the principal had already gone. They had video of what had happened, so they went to the school on his first day and arrested him at school for beating up the guy who was walking out of his girlfriend's house at 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't know that I would have done anything differently. I guarantee I'd have confronted the crap out of him. There would have been a fight.
An ex
or a death. No, apparently his girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah,
well, that's you're asking.
You got to ask yourself at some point. I did at one point. Is this person worth going to prison for?
Well, I've said that many times.
and the answer was no.
Yeah,
she's not.
well, I've done that many times. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Oh, have you got a bunch of things you wanted to mention here today too? Cartoons are disappearing. A dangerous podcast. Pizza flavors. Hitler towels. I mean, you got to.
Well, this shows that no good deed goes unpunished. A guy named George Brownridge.
Yeah.
Put together a little event for some women who didn't have a lot of money to go shopping. A little shopping spree.
What a nice thing to do.
So the local paper put out, congratulations, George Brownridge, for pleasing 15 women for an entire day. And the women, quote, we were all exhausted and very satisfied, and we look forward to next year. We all thank you, George. Well, the next day, our sincere apology to George Brownridge. Our intentions were to thank him for a generous holiday shopping trip which he arranged. This annual tradition is much appreciated. Any inappropriate innuendos were unintentional. We take full responsibility.
Sorry, George.
Sorry, George.
But did you hear that Wellesley, one of the 7 sisters colleges, Wellesley, Smith and Holyoke College, Wellesley College has now voted to have the policy where trannies will now be allowed to the all-women's college.
Let them do what they want.
Yeah, I'm sure. And the problem is they have to be in favor of it now. I mean, all the girls who go there have to be in favor of it.
Yeah, that's their problem.
That's right.
To me, that's your problem. You deal with it.
Yeah.
By the way, a girl on Tinder the other day asked me why I have an unlit cigarette in my picture.
Oh, you have one in your picture, don't you?
Yeah, and I told her I'm just looking for a match.
There you are.
I'm not on Tinder.
I like it. You're not on Tinder.
All right, hold on a second. Here we go. All right, remember, Flounder's not in here, so we'll skip this one until he gets back in here. My girlfriend handed me 2 kayak paddles and asked, which one do you want? I said, I'll take either or.
Either or. Oh, my God.
Okay, here you go, Flounder. Remember the great towel debate from a few months ago? When you 2 disgusting Neanderthals said that you use your bath towel over and over and over again. Twice.
Well, okay. One of the comments was that I know this with my little friend Gretchen. Washes her towels every day.
Me too.
Pete, I use
it once.
That's how it started. Pete will use his towels once, and maybe and then okay. No. Flounder, do you have a thing?
So I mean, I try and shower probably twice a day because I wake up so early, and then at the end of the day, because sometimes I'll go. If I do a workout or I'm active and stuff,
you need a shower to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I use 1 towel per day.
All right, that's okay.
Okay.
That's 1 towel.
Now,
and of course, I pointed out what's the last thing you use it for.
Yeah. Okay, that was a mistake. All right,
now once again,
and what's the first thing you use?
Well, now and because of this, and I talked to Pete, and I said, well, if you'd have to have 50 towels to have in your thing. So for my birthday, or it was a Christmas, he got me a bag of towels, and I love them because they're the cheap cotton ones, which means they dry.
Because
the expensive ones don't work.
They don't dry yet.
Now maybe the My Pillow guy.
No.
They
They're
don't work either?
horrible.
Are you serious?
They don't dry you
They all
for
have.
nothing.
They have
it's like
a plastic fabric thing
Yes,
on them.
It's horrible.
So the one, and by the way, they're all coming apart. They're all, but I love them. I'm not leaving them because I literally, I think there were 12 of them in this bag. Anyway, so I know what I do is, and I don't use them. I wash them every day or every other day. Don't be ridiculous. But I have 2 towels, and I put one on the top hook and one on the bottom hook near outside my shower. And one of them I use for my head and my face, and the other one I use for everything else.
Smart.
Now Pete says. I said, well, you wash your towels every day. I said, well, that's stupid. I said, don't you wash yourself in the shower? I mean, and you get in the shower and just let the water run on you and don't clean yourself? How could you be dirty if you come out of a shower? Because your complaint was, well, if you use your towel to wash your crotch, all of a sudden you're washing your face with your crotch towel. I said, well, you don't clean yourself? I thought the object of taking a shower was to clean yourself with soap.
You can use the soap and every loofah sponge you have in the crack of your butt. But when you rub that towel through there to dry off, I want to see you rub your face with.
All right. Well, anyway, so the great towel debate, that's what started.
So this is what happened. So Dan Orlovsky, the ESPN former quarterback guy,
Oh, really?
did something that you never do on Twitter. You post something about yourself that you think everybody else does, and you quickly find out this is not true.
Uh-oh.
Basically, some player named Marlon Humphrey tweeted, I want to be able to shower and then have a full body blower dry me off. Boom, no towel. How has someone not created this yet? Well, they have. There's some places that have these things that'll blow you off that the rich have them in Davos.
A whole body thing?
Oh,
not
yeah,
just a
they'll
hand
just
thing?
blow. Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't know that.
But Dan Orlovsky said, oh, you don't need one of those, just use a towel. Like I use mine 30 times before I wash it.
Wow.
30 times.
That's disgusting. Do you imagine the BO that would eventually
that's a
Well, he
smile?
probably whistles for it to come over to him.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's disgusting. It's despicable. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't. How often do you change your sheets? We talk about that once too.
At least, it depends. If it's just me sitting there hanging out, once a month. But if something has gone on,
Well, Asian cheerleading night is a whole nother section of the townhouse. But Flounder, how often do you wash
I'm
your
once a
sheets?
week because of my allergies with dust mites and stuff like
honestly,
that. So
it's probably at least every 3 weeks.
yeah, around there.
I mean,
That's right.
When I think about it, it's not.
My
and
freshman-
now, when I get out of bed in the morning, I air out my sheets. My mother taught me to do that when I was a baby. When I was a little boy, when we get done with it, we don't make our bed after we get done. We roll all the sheets all the way down to air them out.
All right.
Anyway,
All right, here's a question for both of you.
yeah.
We wake up handcuffed together in a police car.
No.
Using 4 words only, what do you say to each other?
what did you do?
Who's got bail money? Did the Braves win? According to Quit touching me now. All right, here we go. Here's our letters to the editor.
All right, sir.
This one's from Gary.
Yeah.
Dear Kimmer,
Bill.
why do you put up with Pete's shit?
Yeah.
I can be your new sidekick and be there to support you and give praise and laugh at all your jokes. He wants to be your Ed McMahon. I believe I will fit right in. I am a good listener. You are correct, sir. Which means you can talk and talk and talk and talk. But if not, here is $20. Hope it helps. All right, there's
Thank
Gary.
you.
Dear Pete, this is from this is from Thad.
Fad.
Dear Pete, thank you so much, in big letters, for scolding the Kimmer at the beginning of podcast number 536 for all his topic teases. It's a podcast, not a radio show. Sadly, he doesn't need to hold us over through the commercial. I wanted to email you, but it seemed petty, so thank you for figuring out yourself, Mr. Helper.
Well, if people start to listen, and I want to give them an idea of what they'll be listening to later. It might be interesting. It's called a tease, so they'll want to be there.
I frequently fast-forwarded through his teases. I love the show. Just get on with it already. So basically, here's the thing, at point which we've been trying to make. No one remembers the teases. They don't. They're either listening. If they don't like the topic, they fast forward it. They don't remember any of your teases.
Okay. All right. I will never do another tease.
No, I tease before I do my show, but I do it in boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's go.
Well,
and you sometimes make it the first 20 minutes of the show.
I'll try to do a poop, poop, poop instead of my 20 minutes.
All right, here's a question for you.
Yes.
Did you two know that 10 plus 10 and 11 plus 11 are the same?
10 plus 10 is 20. 11 plus 11 is 22.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus. 22. It's 20 also, yeah.
Yeah, how about eat me? How about that?
I love it. He fell right into it. Hey, when Flounder's getting it before you.
I don't get anything anymore.
All right. We all know that one of the Looney Tunes has been canceled.
That's right. I forgot who it was.
Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
Womanizer.
Okay, they canceled Dumbo the Flying Elephant, too.
Yeah. Well, Joe says, I'm
Le Pew
glad
was-
Pepe is canceled and my children are safe.
Safe.
Now my son can get back to playing Grand Theft Auto, where he just set a hooker on fire so he didn't have to pay her. Think about that.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll let you play Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto, but you can't watch a Looney Tune.
Yeah. They won't spank their kids, but let them cut off their testicles when they're 11.
All right. The latest in space says an asteroid the size of 69 blanks will pass by the Earth. This happened a couple days ago. Guess what they're using as a measure of...
I heard this.
a
and I
unit of
couldn't-
measure.
I heard, and it was something like step ladders or
Even better.
toasters or some
Even better.
ridiculous freaking cows or wasn't
You're
it
getting
wasn't
warmer.
it animal? Wasn't it like
Yeah.
zebras or
no.
horse? Oh, camels. Wasn't it camels?
No, not a camel.
Crap! I remember seeing this and I can't remember what it was.
Look,
It
20 questions. Which
God!
animal could it be?
Does it have a long tail?
Yes.
So it's not a hippo.
A flounder? You had questions? You could add it anytime.
Is it a horse?
No.
Is it a... You said an animal. Is it,
Is
could
it
it be
a
a
lion?
fish?
That's 3 questions. What? A fish? No. That's 4.
No, it's a four-legged animal. Correct? Is it a four-legged animal?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 5.
God, I can't.
A
remember.
pig?
No. That's 6.
Let's see. Does it live in the desert?
No. Not for long.
Is it normal? Is it normally kept in a barn?
No.
Is it normally wild?
Yes.
A coyote?
No.
Is it normally known
halfway
as a killer?
Yes.
A bear?
No.
Is it a current live animal we see in world today, or is it a
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Or, that's 2 questions.
Is it a monkey?
No. You got 5 more questions.
God.
Zebra?
No.
No, I haven't mentioned.
They're the police of the animal world. How many times we got to go through this?
Wow. It's something. I thought it was a giraffe or a giraffe.
No. A killer giraffe?
Nah.
Really? A killer
It could
giraffe.
happen. Oh crap! I hate this.
By the way, you know what? The Cocaine Bear has become. I wish I'd seen this. Supposedly, What's Her Face, the director, came out with a guy in a bear costume and did a bit on the Oscars for Cocaine
no, I
Bear.
didn't see it.
They've come out. It's only going straight to DVD and Netflix. Cocaine Shark.
Oh my God! Oh, had to
Cocaine
happen.
shark.
Had to happen.
All right. Anyway,
Why
you
didn't
got,
we think of it?
you have
Hold on,
3
hold
more.
on, hold on,
You
hold
got 3
on.
more questions.
Elephant.
No, 2 more questions.
Oh God!
You're gonna kick yourself.
A gorilla?
1 more question.
Dog.
No.
What?
What's an animal that's in the news constantly for killing old ladies?
Snakes?
Alligator.
An alligator.
That's I remember now.
An asteroid the size of 69 American alligators.
What the hell sense does that?
Come
By the way,
on.
they're all different sizes. I mean, come on.
All right, the Mississippi Braves have come up with 2 new things. They have mac and cheese, and they have pizza.
Yeah.
So they decided.
Mac and cheese pizza.
What do you think? Mac and cheese pizza.
That would be good. I'll bet you that'd be good.
What do you think? I don't know about that.
Well, it's cheese. I mean, what would we? I'd rather have that than pineapple on my pizza.
I don't know, but Velveeta cheese on a pizza just is kind of weird.
No. You know
well,
what?
mac and yeah, maybe.
You know what Racetrack has?
No.
My sister's fiance brought this home one day, a breakfast pizza, which is basically it's your eggs, your sausage, your bacon, your cheese, and everything on a pizza, and it's delicious.
Really?
And Racetrack has it.
Like a fried egg and sausage cheese pizza? I'll be
Whatever,
damned.
yeah. It's fantastic.
Right there at the gas station. I don't get
We
it.
decided to create the zombie nation early again, a Roman-era tomb scattered with magical dead nails, and had been sealed. Why had it been sealed? Because Romans thought it was the restless dead inside, a.k.a. zombies. 2,000-year-old tomb discovered in Turkey. they've decided to open it up.
Oh, boy.
Why would you do that?
You're going to let them out. They're in there.
They're going to let them out. It was also, it had nails driven in it. It was sealed with 24 bricks, magic nails, and a layer of plaster.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong with opening that sucker
They
up?
never saw the movie The Mummy?
That's true. Oh, by the way.
He got blasted for his... did you hear about the Oscars?
No.
Brendan Fraser, who won the Academy
whale?
Award for playing the whale with a big fat... Now, they said he was wearing... They complained he was wearing a fat suit. I thought he gained the weight. I thought he really did.
I don't think
anyway, his face is huge. I mean, he really got fat. But it won the Academy Award for Best Makeup. And the leftists were blasting Brendan Fraser and the Academy for awarding a fake makeup fat guy instead of getting an actual fat guy.
Yeah,
Swear to God.
That's called acting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
that's
acting.
why they gave him an award for acting, and because he acted like the whole purpose of it is to make something that's not real and make it look. Oh my God!
Why didn't they go get a real werewolf or American Werewolf in London, huh?
Or a real pirate, you got to cut off his legs and give him a wooden leg. I mean, come on.
Okay, we should have talked about this last week. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. About Washington. There was a woman podcaster in Washington State
Yeah.
who she had a stalker who was from Texas, a truck driver in Texas, came to her house in Washington, Seattle suburb, broke in a window, and killed her and her husband.
I didn't hear about this story.
Yeah, a Washington podcaster killed by a Texas stalker. She had major back surgery. She couldn't move around much, and he got in there and killed her. And it looks like now she had a bizarre last name. He looks like he's Middle Eastern or some sort, or from Bangladesh or
They say
someplace
what
like
the
that.
issue was
And he was just enamored with her,
Jesus.
and basically hunted her down and killed her.
That's not. We not encourage. We don't want to. Any ideas in the area here?
No.
No.
But we're all packed.
No, I'm going down to Macon with you and to Macon Woods.
She's
Macon
in
Forest.
Seattle. She's probably doesn't have a gun in the house.
Hell no.
Neither did her beta male husband.
Yeah, right.
Oh, by the way, we had a contest at work for best neckwear.
Oh yeah.
It was a tie.
Oh.
See, he liked it. Oh, it was
God.
$100,000 Midas champagne of Armand de Brignac. It was sold at Las Vegas Encore Casino. A guy named Cain Velasquez, who is a mixed martial artist guy, owns it along with Sean Jay-Z Carter. And it's known as Ace of Spades. Did you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of
That's the
anything
thing.
about that.
And it's $100,000. They only put out 6 of the bottles.
How could you? What could possibly be worth $100,000 taste bud?
I know.
that your all taste buds are different. I mean, you don't. If you and I had the same thing, I mean, my God, I can't.
By the way, great minds think alike. Cindy also thought it was a giraffe.
Well, there you are. Should we do a couple of quick birthdays here before we run out of time? Quickly, Eric Estrada, Frank Poncherello on chips, 74 today. Flavor Flav, the guy with a clock,
Really?
64. Alan Tudyk, you know who that is? He's the star of Resident Alien.
Yeah, really? I share a birthday with Alan Tudyk?
Alan Tudyk.
All right, that makes it
52
good.
years old. That's
Excellent.
a very interesting show. I still have 4 of
It's
those on
funny.
in my
Funny shit.
museum. Chuck Woolery, back in 2 and 2, 82 years old.
Okay, Chuck's okay.
Ozzie Newsome, football player, 67, tight end. And is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh,
Isn't he? Isn't he a vice president now with the Browns or something?
He was the GM of the Ravens for a long time.
Ravens. That's what it was. Lauren Graham from the Gilmore Girls, 56 today.
Good looking woman.
Remember the TV show Alias with Jennifer Garner? Oh, God, I had the hots for her. Victor Garber played her dad, is 74.
Good actor.
And he's in a bunch of other things, too. Wolfgang von Halen, Valerie Halen and Eddie's kid,
Really?
32 today. And he is the bass player for Van Halen as we speak today.
Well, yeah.
A couple of quick historical things. 1968 on this day. The My Lai Massacre. Lieutenant William Cowley, a jeweler from Columbus, Georgia, was convicted. Captain Ernest Medina, I think, got away with it. All the big shots got away with it, basically. 500 or more unarmed villagers bayoneted, shot while praying at their temple. Revenge for the troops under Cowley's command and others getting slaughtered recently before that. They executed people by the dozens in a ditch until a helicopter pilot named Hugh Thompson saw the piles of bodies And he started to come down to land and realized, oh my God, there are old men and women and children hiding and cowering behind every structure they can get behind. So he landed the chopper. He got between the Americans and the villagers in this little village near My Lai and said, if you troops shoot any of these people, my troops will fire on you. The shooting stopped. Thompson reported to the headquarters when he got back to camp. The Army covered it up completely until journalist Seymour Hersh, who just is in the news again, talking about the other thing, Seymour Hersh broke that story. Hugh Thompson, the hero of the chopper pilot, testified against William Calley, who had an awful lot of friends, and they tried to kill him. They threatened his life, hounded him. 30 years later, the Army finally awarded Hugh Thompson with the Soldier's Medal for heroism, for not in conflict with the enemy, but for his heroic actions on that day 30 years earlier.
What did Seymour Hersh just break?
It was the story on the Russian pipeline, I believe.
That basically Biden had it blown
Biden
up.
had it blown up. Yeah,
so he was a hero of the left back then, but
and
now he's a crazy right-winger.
Again, the story is the issue. If you're a reporter and there's a story, you're saying, oh my God, what a story, not, oh crap, this is going to hurt the left. I mean, that's what, I can't believe the difference. The First Amendment's dead. It's over. We don't have a free press.
Well, you can't trust him.
Broke this morning, the Biden 7. There are something like 120 bad business banking transaction sleazy report marks that the federal officials have. So far, Representative Comer and his committee looking into Hunter Biden has gone through one report so far and already linked $3 million payment from communist China, $1.5 million or so going to the Biden family, including Biden's daughter, a daughter-in-law who was married to Beau Biden, who died, who was having the affair with Hunter Biden. And when Hunter Biden's brother died, she moved in, and Hunter Biden dropped his family and moved in with the widow of his brother, and were having an affair with her until she finally was the one who said, oh my God, there's a gun in the mailbox thing. Remember that deal? Anyway, that girl Hallie was getting money also. So it was the brother, Jimmy Chin, and the wife, and Joe, and Hunter, and the daughter, and somebody else. 7 of them now. The Biden 7 getting money from communist China. The question is, what did they do to get it? Did they claim it? And what did they do to get it? And is there anything illegal about communist China giving money to the Biden family? I mean, sure. I mean, here we go. Anyway, that's the first of more than 100 banking transactions that were marked as suspicious and probably illegal, like for money laundering and God knows what else. Yeah. Anyway, and so that's the latest thing coming out. All right, quick history thing. I'm almost done. 1964, Paul Hornung of the Packers and Alex Karras of the Lions were reinstated by the NFL. They had been suspended for gambling. 1521, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan and his crew reached the Philippines, where he eventually was killed during a battle with the natives a month later. Turns out that Magellan had convinced the local chief of one of the tribes to convert to Christianity. So the chief said, ooh, that's a great idea. Now let's go have a fight with the other tribe that's not Christian. And they did, and the other tribe shot Magellan with a poison arrow, and his crewmen left him there to die. They fled to the boats and left him there to die. Right there on the beach. 1926, you know the name Goddard, as in the Space Center stuff? Space Center thing. He was the rocket scientist and professor on this day, first time ever, tested the first liquid-fueled rocket at his Aunt Effie's farm in Auburn, Massachusetts. 2 more. 1991, the plane carrying 7 members of Reba McEntire's band and her manager crashed into a mountain in Southern California, killing everybody on board. Reba was on a different flight. And 1994, Tanya Harding pleaded guilty to conspiracy to block prosecution and covering up the attack on figure skater Nancy Kerrigan by Tanya's boyfriend. She never went to jail, but she got a fine of $100,000. There you are. Anyway, a little bit of the goings-on.
Flounder found our bad text theater while I read you a really disgusting joke.
Oh, excellent.
What do you call a quadriplegic knight who's been out in the rain?
Oh, my God. A quadriplegic. Matt, you don't call him anything. He's not coming. Oh, Squeaky. Rusty.
Good. Rusty. But here's what I was going to do. Why didn't the leper cross the road?
There was no other side. He didn't have another side. He couldn't. Yeah, he left He was limbed before. I don't know.
He didn't have the balls.
The balls. That's disgusting.
Let's see. Did you hear about the man who was so mean he went to the local home for the blind?
No.
And flattened out all the braille with a rolling pin?
Oh.
To this day, I still don't understand why there's Braille on drive-thrus.
Yeah, the ATM drive-through
Yeah.
ATM.
Well,
Did they lean across you and reach out? Or
apparently.
maybe the CNI dog reaches
I
out.
don't.
does.
Maybe,
That or just
I
someone
don't
felt
know.
like taking a chance.
Driving
if
is
you
hard
walk
enough
up.
while you're blind, I guess.
To me, it'd be kind of dangerous to have someone walk up to the drive-through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
All right, what do we got? What day
It's the one right above the dating in 2022 picture.
dating in 22 picture.
The gym instructor,
What date are we talking?
March 6th.
All right. Are you the man to gym instructor or are you the gym teacher?
I'm going to be the man.
All right.
Can you show me how to do the splits?
How flexible are you?
I can't do Tuesdays.
See, sometimes even the silliest little thing. Boys, weekend plans?
Just party, party, party.
Yeah, boy, you got your big birthday celebration. Congrats, happy birthday too.
You know who also has a birthday today? George Burns,
As in Gracie Allen's and George Burns?
the smoker. Remember
Really?
George Burns?
I didn't know he had the. Yeah, George and Gracie. Yeah.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh God.
Say goodnight, Flounder.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Okay, who co-starred in it? Who was George Burns co-star?
John Denver.
I was asking him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr.
John
Know-it-all.
Denver.
Well, I was just trying to be. Hey, when I remember
Know-it-all.
something, I say it. Are you kidding me? All right,
Oh, I didn't
boys.
tell you my nightmare. I woke
No.
up this morning in a sweat. I was basically back at WGST, and I came in to do the sports at 6:20 a.m., and there was no sports. There was no AP, no ABC. There was no sports anywhere on the computer, anything. So at 6:20, it's like, well, just run the one we've been running overnight, and I'll try and find something for 6:50. 6:50 comes around. There's no sports. Every computer, no sports on it. And I thought, and in the dream, I'm thinking, how can this be? And then I thought, oh, I'm not in radio anymore. And I woke up.
Oh my God. Well, there you are.
That's why I couldn't find, because I wasn't supposed to be there. Why am I here?
That's why I can't throw out my stuff from all my radio days because it's
Back to him.
How did he circled that back? Like
Real quick.
here on the Kimmer Podcast. Look out, I gotta go. You're killing me. Boys, hoorah, semper fi, and have a great weekend. All right, you gotta go. Let's have a